It's going to be a lot of fun to sit there and name drop everybody, and then drag all your names through the mud.
Balls deep in your love. Balls deep in your love. Balls deep in your love. Balls deep in your love.
I don't even have the script ready. So Chris, start off the episode.
Greetings, folks. I'm Chris Mack.
And I'm Dan Mack. It doesn't work that way.
Because I was going to say I'm Dan Mack, and it just didn't, because I'm reading this damn script. Anyway, we are welcoming you to episode 79 of the Shred Shack podcast, your weekly source of news and uninformed yet heavily biased opinions pertaining to all things heavy metal.
You know, it would have been funny if we had read it like, greetings, folks, I'm Dan Mack, and like they just read it like really deadpan and boring.
And go fuck yourself, San Diego. If you put it on a teleprompter, he's going to read it.
Let's go with some old business.
Old business is old business, and new business is new business.
That might be the first time.
Motherfucker's actually ready.
Because halfway through saying what I was saying, I was like, oh shit, I should probably be ready for something.
Too bad we don't have any old business.
Well, shit. Let's move along.
And this is new business, and we do not discuss new business until next quarter.
It's next quarter. Usually when we start off with new business, we talk about new releases for the week that we've listened to. I did not listen to anything new release. You always raise. Shut up. Put your hand down.
I did.
Shut up.
I got one.
So salty.
Shut up.
I got one.
I see two on here. Oh, no, that's one. It's just...
There was going to be two, but I started listening to the second one, and I got bored with it, and I didn't finish it.
Damn you, text rap. All right, go on with your one.
All right, so it is a band called Enfold Darkness. The album is called Adversary Omnipotent. Mm-hmm. All right, now these guys are a technical black metal band from Tennessee. All right, and this is actually their sophomore album. Their first album came out 8 years ago, so it took them it took them like a Metallica amount of time to release a second album here, and it's really, really fucking good. You know, I'm a big fan of the prog stuff, so the technicality is always something that I really enjoy. But adding technicality to a black metal band with production that's not your typical lo-fi black metal sound, fucking incredible. So I highly recommend everyone going out and check out Infold Darkness, Adversary Omnipotent.
And as I said, I have no new albums to talk about. I was busier than usual this week. A lot of overtime this week, actually.
Good for you.
Yeah, well, yeah, it didn't.
This is my quiet time of the year because it's July and people are taking vacations and whatnot. So I'm a little free for time at the moment.
Well, good, because yeah, you can help get prepared for the top threes when we catch up to them.
Yeah. I already told you I'm not coming back in until June. So
yeah, well, except for your random cameos. Just come in, break through the wall, and be like, oh my god, Royal Thunder!
Oh my god!
Oh my god, Royal
so
Thunder!
much jism.
I'm sorry, you want to go that route?
Oh no! All of this jism!
Yes.
But what else have we been listening to this week?
I actually have a laundry list of things here.
Ah, for fuck's sake!
Are you not reading the script? Do you not see all the red?
Chris?
Fuck you, I know shit.
Go on.
No, you don't. Our whole brotherhood summed up in 5 words right there.
Pretty much right there. That was your exact
That
line.
was my best man speech.
Yeah. Fuck you, I know shit. Put his arm forward, dropped the mic, walked away, realized he was on the dance floor still inside the building, walked back, went, sorry, everybody.
Had to finish it off. Anyway, so I've been listening to Oh My God, Royal Thunder.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oni, Machine Supremacy, Meshuggah, Iced Earth, Animals as Leaders, Stone Sour, pretty much all the new albums from these bands. And then I backtracked a little bit. I listened to Epic Cloud by Devin Townsend, Purple by Baroness, Killswitch Engage. I just went on a YouTube binge on all their videos on YouTube, and then I listened to Alive or Just Breathing. Periphery, the Clear EP, the new Arion record. Went back and listened to Soul Invictus by Faith No More. Just I remember,
fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I just remember how amazing that fucking record was.
I'm fairly certain I listened to that album earlier this week, too.
Listened to Yum's Viking by Amon Amarth, Retribution by Shadows Fall, Deep Shadows and Brilliant Highlights by him, Down 2, Soilwork, Natural Born Chaos, Behemoth, Evangelion, Sacrament by Lamb of God, Tarot, Toxic Holocaust, and while you were walking in, Gojira was playing.
Or get your degree.
Yes. Yeah, we had that one ready for this. I think one of our festival lineups. here.
Yeah,
We're gonna do
I
that.
saw a nice hefty list of festival stuff.
Yeah.
But anybody who really wants to know what Chris is listening to at a given time, just friend him on Facebook.
Yeah, really, because
Yeah.
I have been really just on top of it.
Because I'll just spell out every single post. I'm listening to this. If you're not, fuck you.
No, at least I'm nice about it. I'm not like the boulder over here. I say you are wrong. Not go fuck yourself.
They've given me the opportunity to kill myself. How thoughtful.
Nice. Very cool.
I don't remember half what I listened to this week. The only thing that I specifically remember, I listened to it a couple times in the last few days, 3 days, is the Raven Black album that came out last year, because I saw them on Friday, which I'll get into later. But aside from that, I always go sporadic. Definitely there was Faith No More in there. Soul Invictus, a little bit of Angel Dust, and Album of the Year. Album of the Year is a really good album. Yes, it's Album of the Year. Before you pun that shit, I'll knock you out. Before you pun that shit, I'm going to knock you out. Shut up.
Raps are on special.
Let's go on to some general... Oh, you're starting it off with... Oh, my God.
I mean, it's the biggest news that we.
It is.
It's the biggest news of the week.
And it fucking blows so hard.
All right. So, if you guys haven't heard by now, this past Friday, July 14th, Adrenaline Mob was involved in a fatal crash in Florida. Their bassist, David
Zabludowski.
Nice.
I know names.
Yeah.
Nameology.
Yes. Two Boondock Saints references in one show. We're good. Anyway, bassist Dave Zabludowski died and 6 others were injured when a tractor-trailer veered off Interstate 75 near Mechanipe and struck the group's RV that had pulled off the highway with a flat tire. The bassist was pronounced dead at 12:42 p.m. Out of the 9 people who were involved in the vehicles, 6 were taken to area hospitals and 2 declined medical treatment, according to Gainesville.com. Of the 6 injured, 3 were listed in critical condition and the other 3 in stable condition. Now, yesterday, July 15th, there was an update as to exactly who was injured and how. All right. So the people in the crash and their injuries, as per the Florida Highway Patrol, were Robert Edwin Haynes, 59, of Largo. He was the driver of a 2014 semi, who is not injured. Douchebag. Jason McCole, 41, of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, who was the driver of the RV, was seriously injured. Zabludowski, of course, he was the bass player. He passed away. A second passenger in the RV, Adrenaline Mob singer, Russell Allen, 45, of New Jersey, who was seriously injured. A third passenger, Adrenaline Mob tour manager Janet Rains, 48, of Pitts Pond, Pennsylvania, who was critically injured. A fourth passenger, Dale Campiglia, 51, of Levittown, New York, who was seriously injured. And a fifth passenger, Robert Dressler, 45, of Plains, Pennsylvania, who was seriously injured. Also involved in the crash is a 2003 GMC Sierra, which was driven by Adrenaline Mob drummer Jordan Kanata, 27, of West Babylon, New York, who was seriously injured. And the passenger was, of course, Adrenaline Mob's 46-year-old guitarist Mike Orlando of Staten Island, who was seriously injured. Now, the status of the injured is currently unknown, because this came out Saturday, but Orlando's girlfriend Dana Griffo clarified on Facebook late Friday night that Orlando, Allen, Kanata, and Dressler were banged up but okay.
No, I haven't really kept up with much of the details of this. Basically, whatever you guys have reported to me it's pretty much my knowledge plus this. But the fact that the band was pulled over and this truck hit them,
Yeah.
that's probably the most frustrating thing, because it's like you've got miles of road before you and miles of road after you. Why is it that this stretch of 100, 200 feet is where you veered off the road? And
the thing is, like, I don't even think it was just like the crash. I think, from what I understood, things exploded. Like,
yeah.
Russell Allen released a statement that he actually had to have help drag somebody out of the freaking RV before it fucking engulfed in flames. Mm-hmm. So it was a bad shit
that
accident.
That is some bullshit. And yes, people may say that it's bad to wish harm upon anyone, but the fact that the driver, like, there better be like a really goddamn good reason. Like, if anything short of a heart attack is.
Well, he wasn't injured, so the motherfucker was
That's
probably,
what I'm
he was
saying,
probably
like-
sleeping or like nodding off behind the wheel.
But again, even if he was nodding off behind the wheel, 200 or less than feet of space. How? You know, it just irritates me. That kind of shit, like time and space, things like that, are just such anomalies. It's
no
fucking,
shit.
I just can't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. I just fucking can't. I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says my face. Just I fucking can't. and in this case, so speedy recovery to all of them,
Yeah, really.
because no one deserves that
Yeah.
at all.
And they were heading towards their next show, which was in St.
And
Petersburg.
they just started the tour, I think.
Was it is that like far into it? Like not at all?
I don't think they got too far into it yet. But the album just came out. They've got to be like only like 2-3 weeks into it.
Yeah.
So
Bummer.
yeah,
Of
absolute
course.
fucking terrible, man. All right, please raise my spirits here.
All right. Godsmack singer Sully Erna has partnered with the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation and Recovery Centers of America. They just want you to know. They want to ask, how's your mother? To raise awareness. You got a clip for that or no?
No, I don't have a
Okay. You need that clip. Anyway.
Because they had a chicken. What's up, chicken?
To raise awareness about the growing opioid crisis. Opioid. Oh my God. Heroin crisis in America, pretty much.
Among other kinds.
Yeah. All right. Sully and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation have teamed up to create a brand new video featuring the song Different Kind of Tears, the first single off Erna's current solo album, Hometown Life, available now via BMG.
Hey, Sully, how you doing? We should do like a thing together. Say hi to your mother for
Say
me.
how you want it.
Now I'm going to talk to a chicken.
Oh, Wahlberg being Wahlberg.
That's what I need. I need the clip from The Happening. No. You ever seen that?
I've seen The Happening. I don't remember that, though.
Okay, well, this is like, I think someone accuses him of like something, like trying to kill somebody. He goes, no. It's like so forced and hammy. Like, I need that.
You probably just need any kind of clip from the Transformers movies. Where
Yeah.
they're ridiculous. Anyway. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. King Diamond and his wife, Livia Zeta, are the parents of a 3-month-old son named Byron.
I guess they adopted.
No, no.
Really?
No. That's their
Did someone realize? Oh shit! King Diamond had a son 3 months ago.
It's
I don't.
they make them. They're not Beyonce. It's not like everyone's watching them have a fucking baby.
Okay, I'm just imagining right now, just King Diamond in his house with his wife, and they just spawn this into being. Just in the center of the pentagram.
With a high pitch, yeah,
And then suddenly, bam, 3-month-old.
named Byron.
Because fuck childbirth, we can just spawn them. I'm King Diamond, and I approve this message.
Moving on. All right, transgender vocalist Mina Caputo of Life of Agony and Laura Jane Grace of Against Me will be performing together for the first time at the upcoming Alternative Press Music Awards. That event will now be held at the KeyBank State Theater in Cleveland, Ohio on Monday, July 17th. Grace will also be presented with the Icon Award during the award show. Caputo will be apparently joining Against Me for a performance during the show.
Cheers to that.
Awesome.
Everything about that, just cheers to that.
Good stuff all around. New Life of Agony, by the way, is pretty awesome, by the way. Just saying.
I have not heard it, so.
Yeah. All right, ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Streaming giant Spotify have shared some new data regarding the various rock and roll artists streamed the most via their service during the first half of 2017 in honor of July 13th being International Day of Rock and or Roll. Now, remember, this is rock and roll, not just heavy metal. Okay? So, before the butt hurt starts.
Wait, what is it?
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll!
So before the butt hurt starts, remember, this is just the genre of rock. Okay, so the top 20 rock acts globally streamed on Spotify. Globally here. Number 1 is Coldplay.
Damn, my ass hurts.
Number 2, 21 Pilots. Number 3 is the Beatles. 4 is Linkin Park.
Oh, man, I can feel the butthurtedness from the Beatles fans right now.
All right, 5 is Red Hot Chili Peppers. 6 is Panic at the Disco.
They're still a thing?
Apparently so. Globally. And whoa, yeah, in the United States too. Anyway, number 7 is Metallica, of course. Number 8 is Arctic Monkeys. Number 9 is Queen.
Yeah.
Number 10 is Fall Out Boy. They're still a thing. 11 is Green Day.
Yeah.
12 is AC/DC. 13 is Pink Floyd. 14 is Blink 182. 15 is Paramore. 16 is Guns N' Roses. 17 Nirvana. 18 the Rolling Stones. 19 the 1975.
I've never even heard of that one.
And number 20 Kings of Leon.
We're going to be mentioning a couple of these bands later on.
More than likely.
During our discussion, actually. Couple of things I found interesting here. One, I'm very much surprised that Panic at the Disco is higher than Fall Out Boy, because they kind of came around the same time, and I thought Fall Out Boy was a bigger band. So that's kind of surprising me. Number 2, I'm legitimately surprised that the Beatles are not 1 or 2. I'm pretty sure for number 12, AC/DC, they've been playing the same AC/DC song over and over, waiting for somebody to notice. And
Pink Floyd is just Dark Side of the Moon over and over again.
the Kings of Leon, I never realized that they were that popular.
Well, wait until you get into the American.
All right, America. I don't have any.
America.
I don't have any American things.
All right.
So.
Top 20 rock acts in the United States on Spotify are number 1, 21 Pilots.
Not surprising, actually.
Number 2, Coldplay. Number 3, Panic at the Disco. Number 4, The Beatles.
Oh, Beatles fans.
Number 5, Fall Out Boy. Number 6, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Number 7, Linkin Park. Number 8, Blink 182.
Get the fuck out of here.
Number 9, Metallica. Number 10 is Green Day. Number 11 is the 1975.
What is the 19?
Number 12 is Paramore. Number 13 is Pete's favorite band, Five Finger Death Punch.
Oh, Pete, get some, you punk bitch.
Number 14 is Queen. Number 15 is Led Zeppelin. Number 16 is AC/DC. Number 17 is Pink Floyd. 18 is Arctic Monkeys. 19 is Mumford and Sons. And number 20 is 3 Days Grace.
A couple things I have to say about this one. I didn't know that 21 Pilots were that popular.
I think it's just that one fucking song.
It might be. I don't know. But the thing is, like, I didn't hear about them until I started working at the hospital. That was about a year and a half ago.
But remember, this is just for 2017 so far.
I know, but, like, I feel like I would have heard a little bit more. Like, me still living under a rock half the time, I feel like I still would hear things.
Yeah, well.
But then again, I apparently don't know that Panic at the Disco is one of the biggest bands in the fucking United States right now, apparently, according to Spotify.
Well, again, this is just what's streaming. So.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised Metallica's not higher on the list, considering how many of their albums are on the charts every fucking week.
I'm quite offended that Five Finger Death Punch is above Queen, but just putting that out there.
Well, remember, that's the crossover appeal.
They can cross over my nuts. So, yeah. God damn it.
You fail.
I fail. Oh,
Fail, Gunner.
And you failed.
There it goes.
God damn it. Okay, so that's a thing. I mean, it's just this. A lot of it's not really that surprising.
Yeah.
It just, some things irk me that they are as played as they are. Blink 182. I think you need to pack up your shit and go the fuck home, and never come back.
Your planet needs you.
Yeah. That's the clip I need. I have to go now. My planet needs me. Poochie died on the way back to his home planet.
Boss.
Oh my god!
I can relate to this.
All right, let's go on to some recording
We're going on to
news.
some recording news. Here we
Yeah.
go. Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare Special Edition DVD will be released on September 8th via Eagle Rock Entertainment. Now, this DVD features the 1975 TV special Alice Cooper, The Nightmare, now available on DVD for the first time, along with the 1976 Welcome to My Nightmare concert film, which was aired on ABC in the U.S. Alice Cooper, The Nightmare showcases every song from Welcome to My Nightmare, which had just been released at the time, with Cooper taking on the role of Stephen and Vincent Price serving as the spirit of the nightmare.
Oh no! All of this jism!
Yep. I was
I
expecting that
fucking
one.
love Alice Cooper, and I'm already calling his new album for July, so that comes out like next week. I'm calling that now for our top 3 because I'm gonna love it. Fucking love Alice Cooper, and I need to see a lot of his older stuff because the one that you and I watched, the Brutal Planet one,
Oh yeah.
that was great. But like, Welcome to My Nightmare was him coming into his own as a solo artist because he had just that was his first solo album,
Right.
and that was pretty much like just taking it to a grander stage. And that's also one of his best fucking albums.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really want to see this.
Quality shit.
Yes.
All right. Ace Frehley will release newly expanded deluxe edition of his 2009 album Anomaly on September 8th via E1 Music. I almost said Ear One.
Year one.
Ear One. Among the new tracks are 2 previously unreleased demos, Hard For Me, which was later reworked into the albums Foxy and Free, and an early take of Pain in the Neck, which is different in tempo and arrangement from the final version. Also included is the previously digital-only Anomaly bonus track, The Return of Space Bear. Anomaly Deluxe will also feature enhanced album art, a new live poster, and extensive liner notes by rock writer and Ace Frehley historian Rob Albanese, including track-by-track commentary by Frehley himself.
I one day want to be so awesome that I have a rock historian devoted solely to me. That's got to be awesome.
Right?
I'm kind of bummed that I don't have the Ace Frehley rock and roll clip from Family Guy on here.
Yeah.
But
That would have worked for the whole rock and roll thing with Spotify, too.
yeah, I just plot all the rock and roll clips.
Get all the rock and roll.
All the rock and roll clips. All right, go on.
All right. Soil will release Scream The Essentials on September 5th via Pavement Entertainment and AFM Records. Celebrating the band's 20-year career. My God, they've been around for 20 years.
Yes, they have.
This release will feature tracks from their humble beginnings, rise to fame, and also include alternate versions and mixes.
Well, I don't really need a best of thing from them, honestly. What surprises me here, though, Soil on AFM Records. AFM's typically power metal, specifically like Euro power metal. So that's a bit surprising. Cool, but surprising. But yeah, Soil.
All right. Next up, Satyricon will release their 9th studio album called Deep Calleth Upon Deep on September 22nd via Napalm Records.
Are you a fan of Satyricon?
I have one of their records. I think it was the last one they released.
Is Pete a fan of Satyricon?
I'm pretty sure he
Is he
might
going to
be.
be buying it?
Possibly.
Like 10,000 vinyls? Possibly?
Maybe.
Shut up and take my money.
Just want to
There
play
it
that
goes.
clip.
Well, we can use that for this one. Because 9 Inch Nails will release a new 5-song EP called Add Violence on Friday, July 21st. Add Violence is the second installment of 9 Inch Nails' 3-part EP series. The first portion, not the actual events, arrived last December, which I still need to buy.
Yeah, same here, actually, because the week that came out, I was going to run to Best Buy, and something thwarted me.
I remember that, actually.
Yeah, because I think I mentioned it on the podcast.
Yeah.
So let's go back and listen to that. Somebody who actually listened to this show, who's... I don't listen to my own show.
Neither do I.
I've never had to call my own company. I basically need to go watch the Hank Scorpio episode of The Simpsons and just get all those clips.
Stay with me, we'll go bowling.
Let him go! Stay with me, we'll go bowling! Hell.
Albert Brooks is the best.
Yes, he is absolutely fantastic.
Okay. Last bit of recording news here is Threshold will release their new album Legends of the Shrines on September 8th via Nuclear Blast. This will be the band's 11th studio album and their first ever double album. It also features Glenn Morgan back on vocal duties for the first time since 1996.
Yeah, they kind of have a fun little revolving door of... It's kind of like the Iced Earth thing. Because they had, 3-4 singers leading up to Mac, who was on Dead Reckoning. It's where we started really listening to them. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago.
And of course, Damian Wilson.
Then Damian Wilson came in.
3 stints. He had 3 different times, right?
I think so. Definitely at least 2 significant ones.
And then he was on the last 2 records anyway.
Yeah. and now they're going they went all the way up to one to Mac, and then they're just kind of scaling back. It's like they're gonna find like the very first singer they ever had.
It's like getting Paul Di'Anno back in the band.
Yeah.
His face.
Yeah, it's interesting. We haven't heard anything from him in a long time. Not since all that stuff about his legs and whatnot.
Yeah.
So someone update us on that, please.
All right.
So what are we doing on to crowdfunding tracker?
Yeah, crowdfunding tracker. So let me find. All right. Let's first talk about Mary's Mouth. All right. That's actually still holding at $5,375 of their $6,000 goal.
Okay.
Let's see. Now, the last donation was 2 days ago, so this seems this one has slowed down just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The next one was for the Restore the Musonia and the Randy Rose Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that go? Let me just refresh this real quick.
You don't just lose a museum. God, fool. All right, hold on.
No, only if you're Marcus from
Oh.
Indiana Jones. Oh, wait, no, he got lost in his own museum. Right.
I'll give you some intro music. Here you go. All right, we're back.
There we go. And the Musonia one has raised $16,442 as of right now.
Wasn't the goal like extremely low?
The goal was $2,000.
Okay,
so they've gone well over that.
That's good.
So they're good.
Cool.
All right, so we've got two new ones for this week. All right, one of them is Sean Killian.
Mm-hmm.
He is the vocalist for influential San Francisco Bay Area thrash metal band Violence. He has been diagnosed with stage 4 liver cirrhosis, and he is actively searching for a liver donor transplant. All right, so what they're doing now is raising money for the actual transplant itself, because although his insurance covers part of it, I believe what I read is that they have to cover the part for the donor. So it's not like they have to cover a big portion of it, and their goal is $20,000. So far, they have raised $10,899. They're about halfway there.
Okay.
And last donation was 2 days ago as well, so this one seems to be losing a little bit of steam. But it opened up on June 22nd, so this one's a little bit old.
Okay.
And we're just catching up with it now.
This is the Sean Killian one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And last but not least, we talked last week about Gary Meskill from Propane, who was attacked and brutally attacked, actually. I mean, he got muffed up. You know, the guys were charged with not only assault, but I think attempted murder.
Shit.
Yeah, because they attacked him with a pickaxe or something like that. Like, it was brutal. But anyway, they did put up a GoFundMe page for his injuries and his medical expenses, and their goal was $20,000, and they have raised $27,350.
Shit, good.
In 8 days.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, they got this pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So, good for him. Good for him.
Fuck those guys that beat him up. So,
Balls.
I've got the best lawyer soft tacos can buy.
You mean he got me? Because I'll do anything for soft talk.
yeah, you don't have me because
I'm tired during the day.
I can relate to this.
yeah, no, but definitely,
Why am I second gallon of coffee?
yeah, definitely some good news there. Generally, some good news with our crowdfunding trackers so far. You know, for the ones that may not have gone up, there's still a decent amount being put toward them. So.
Yeah, so I think next week we'll probably just follow up with Sean Killian and Gary of Propane just to make sure that everything's still there.
Yeah.
But I think Mary's Mouth has kind of come to a close, and the Musonia, they well exceeded their goal, so
Yeah,
we don't
so-
even need to talk about that one.
So that'll hopefully they'll do something nice with the extra.
Yeah.
Okay, so
right.
let's go on to concert news, and we'll start off with festivals. Jesus fucking Christ!
Yep, festival news. All right, so here we go. Check this out. The lineup for Ozfest Meets Knotfest was announced. So check this out. Ozfest, which is happening Saturday, November 4th. The main stage will be Ozzy Osbourne, Prophets of Rage,
Oh my God!
Deftones, Children of Bodom, and Orange Goblin. The second stage is Creator, Baroness, High on Fire, Iron Reagan, 1349, Havoc, King, Tombs, Night Demon, and Thrown into Exile. The Nuclear Blast Extreme stage is going to be Possessed, Suffocation, Fallujah, and Rings of Saturn.
Good Lord, man!
Yeah, that is a badass lineup.
Yeah, I wait. What?
Oh no! All of this his jism!
And that's just the first day.
Yeah, that's just the Ozfest part.
That's
of
just
it.
the Ozfest portion. Now check this shit out. Knotfest, which is Sunday, November 5th, is going to be headlined by Rob Zombie,
Oh man.
Marilyn Manson,
Headlining.
Stone Sour, 18 Visions, and Prayers. This is all the main stage. Second stage, Testament,
Oh.
Life of Agony,
Okay.
The Black Dahlia Murder,
Okay.
Upon a Burning Body,
Oh man.
Goat Whore, Death Angel, Code Orange, Oni, Stitched Up Heart, and Dead. Nuclear Blast Extreme Stage, Repulsion, Exhumed, Warbringer, and Ghoul.
I'd like to extend everyone to kind of tune out if you're not a member of Upon a Burning Body right now. I want you to all just kind of tune this out. Hey guys, listen, we're from San Antonio as well. Can you totally get us into this show?
Right?
Like, please and thank you, bro.
Seriously.
Because that is very
Yeah.
very fucking good.
That is a stacked fucking show. Both days. Both days.
Yeah, and it being here in the U.S., pretty close to us, I'd say, right? Mexico. He's not in the
this
U.S.
one's in California.
Is it in California?
I'm pretty sure this one's in California.
Didn't
Isn't
they? I thought they usually did in Mexico.
it? No, there's a Knotfest Mexico. That's a separate thing.
Oh, okay.
I think this one's. I think I could be wrong. We need a fact checker here.
Why can't we just do things like the one year they did Ozfest in Dallas? Get King Diamond down here.
Yeah, Metallica headline on Ozfest with King Diamond,
Spawning,
Merciful Fate medley.
spawning 3-month-old babies on the goddamn stage. Yes.
Oh my god! All right.
Let's just move on before I make this worse.
Yes. We got one more thing for festival news here. Rob Zombie and Five Finger Death Punch will co-headline the 101 WRIF Riff Fest. The festival will be held at the DTE Energy Music Theater in Clarkston, Michigan on Friday, September 29th, and also feature Hailstorm, Pop Evil, Greta Van Fleet, Fozzy, Radkey, and Righteous Vendetta.
Quick thing, that is a pretty good lineup. Quick thing, I had tweeted a thing to Fozzy at one point, asking if they were going to come around soon. This is just before River City Rock Fest, and their response was the River City Rock Fest date, and I was like, no. When are you guys coming around? Again.
No Jericho.
No, sir. We're not talking about 30 minutes on stage at a festival in broad daylight. I'm talking about you guys headlining a show, or at
At
least
the Rock Box.
or co-headlining something. When is that happening? So I really want them to come back around here.
All right, get your Sideshow Bob Grumble ready.
All right, I got to go all the way down to the bottom of the list.
Get this ready here, because all four of these things are not happening here.
Okay, hang on. Okay, go.
All right. Hashtag no San Antonio Day. Children of Bodom are returning to the States this fall to celebrate 20 years since the debut of Something Wild. The 24-date tour will kick off on October 31st in Dallas, Texas, with appearances at this year's Ozfest meets Knotfest and 7 Canadian dates before concluding in Montreal on December 1st. Joining the band on the trek are Carrick Angerin, Lost Society, and Uncured.
Grr. Well, they were just around here recently, right?
I think so.
A few months ago.
Yeah. Still, no, hashtag no San Antonio date.
Yeah.
I'm holding to it. Okay. Hashtag no San Antonio date. Marilyn Manson has announced a fall North American tour. Tickets go on sale Friday, July 14th. So this past Friday went on sale. And here's a surprise venue. He's playing the Paramount in Huntington, New York.
That doesn't surprise me.
No?
Paramount's decent size.
Is it really?
It's decent.
For his stage show, though? I mean,
we haven't seen his stage show since Mob Scene.
No, you might be right.
So I mean,
maybe he stripped it down.
or he has to strip it down.
Huh.
Although speaking similar to that, I've mentioned that I went to go see Lordy a few months ago.
Yes.
Okay, you know, the stage 7 Fitzgerald's was stripped down at best. I see some like stuff from overseas where like they have a full-on light show going on. I'm like, shit, I would love to see that. just like give me epilepsy.
Well, here's one that says no hashtag no San Antonio date, but we're not sure how this is going to be affected.
Yeah. So
as of Friday.
So I'm not even going to play the clip for this one.
Apparently, Adrenaline Mob they announced dates for a second leg of their We the People North American tour. It was going to be sponsored by Rocked Bourbon Whiskey. The trek was supposed to commence in Daytona, Ohio on August 18th and reach its final stop on September 23rd in Providence, Rhode Island. Direct support would be coming from Righteous Vendetta, along with additional support from Dark Sky Choir. Obviously, considering what happened this past Friday, we're not sure. There's nothing that has been updated about their current tour, what they're doing going forward. So we will keep you guys posted as we know.
Yeah. All right, next one.
All right. Fuck you, no U.S. dates.
Oh.
Enslaved will embark on a European tour in November in support of their upcoming 14th studio album. Now, this is the part that pisses me off the most. The trek will include several dates in the United Kingdom and Ireland as support act for Opeth. The best lineup ever right there. Fucking hell.
You goddamn motherfucking stupid piece of shit!
Thank you, Jack Black. Thank you.
Yeah, I can sense your butthurtedness.
Dude, when I read that, I was like clenching and like, so sore and salty.
Yep.
My goodness, is it moany shouty time again already?
Totally.
Yep.
Totally.
Well, before you carry on like a fool, let's go on to one-offs.
All right, one-offs here. Nine Inch Nails have announced a special early access July 19th live show at the Rabobank Arena in Bakersfield, California, with tobacco as support. I guess a bunch of people smoking cigarettes on it. Anyway, the show is currently scheduled to kick off their handful of live appearances, which are all festival appearances this year, and takes place just days before their new EP, Add Violence, is scheduled to hit stores on July 21st.
I just thought of Nine Inch Nails covering that. I don't know if it's what era it came from. The song like begins, "Thank you for smoking the film." Smoke, smoke, smoke. That song.
Oh, yeah.
Imagining like Nine Inch Nails covering that song. That
would be fun.
That's just what came to my head.
I think that'd be fun.
That'd be a lot of fun. I think a lot of bands covering that song would be a lot of fun. But anyway, that has nothing to do with this. So let's go on to heavy metal in the charts. And Chris, you look like you have some noteworthy points to discuss.
I have a noteworthy point here. Stone Sour's first week sales of their latest album, Hydrograd, came in at a healthy 33,000 units sold. 30,000 of which were traditional sales.
Was this copy and pasted?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I was going to say a healthy 33,000,
Yes.
not a sickly 33,000.
As a result, the album notched up a number of accolades, debuting at number 1 atop the Billboard's top current albums, top rock albums, and top hard rock album charts. And the sales also saw the album debut at number 8 on the Billboard Top 200 chart.
Cool.
All right.
I like that.
So here we go. Here's just a few points from the Billboard Top 200, and none of them are very good, really. As previously mentioned, Stone Sour is at number 8 with their new album Hydrograd. Sgt. Pepper's is just below top 50 at number 51 from 45. Still don't know why.
Spotify.
I think that answers the question. Yes,
Yeah.
Good job. The new shit from Nickelback continues to fall. It's at 61 from 40.
Yeah, now that Immortalize is off the list, I think Pete should direct his hate toward that.
Yeah, I think that might be required.
Which we'll get to them later too.
Oh yeah. All right. Metallica's Hardwired up slightly from 123 to 108. Metallica's Black Album is up as well to 112 from 121. And the only other new album that debuts on the charts here is the Acacia Strain with Grave Bloom, which debuts at number 146.
That's it. Out of 200, that is all we have to report.
And half of it wasn't even really metal. I just wanted to make note of it. It was terrible.
So that's it. We got what's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means that there's 194 greatest hits albums on the list right now.
Yeah, just about. I mean, really, it's pretty awful scrolling through this shit.
Oh, actually, like 174, then like 20 pop albums.
Yeah.
This is
All right, well, here we go.
Yep.
Let's go with our weekly butthurt of the top hard rock albums.
I'm crying like a
And we're
bitch.
just reading it. I'm just reading it. All right,
listen,
so number 1 is Hydrograd, as we mentioned. Number 2 is the new shit from Nickelback, which was number 1 last week. Number 3, holding steady at the same spot, is the greatest hits by Queen. 1, 2, and 3.
In your face.
Number 4 is Journey's greatest hits. Number 5 is Metallica's Hardwired to Self-Destruct, which is up from 6. and kind of just switched with Metallica's Black Album, which was at number. This is at number 6 now. It was at number 5 last week. So just switching. All right, number 7 is Guns N' Roses' Greatest Hits. Number 8 is the new record from the Acacia Strain, Grave Bloom. Number 9 is Back in Black, which is the same exact spot I was in last week. Bon Jovi's Greatest Hits is at number 10 after not being on the charts at all last week. Aerosmith's Greatest Hits is at number 11. All the Right Reasons by Nickelback is at number 12. That's 2 for them.
What?
Yep. Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park is holding steady at number 13. Mothership by Led Zeppelin is at 14. Foo Fighters' Greatest Hits at 15. Master of Puppets at 16. The Wrong Side of Heaven and the Righteous Side of Hell Volume 1 by Five Finger Death Punch is at number 17.
What's that, Pete?
And Justice for All is at number 18. Disturbed Immortalized is at number 19. Greatest Hits by Motley Crue is at number 20.
What? Yeah.
Royal Blood, How Do We Get So Dark is at number 21. Zeppelin 4, after not being on the charts at all last week, is at number 22.
That's a lot of replays of Stairway to Heaven.
This might have to do with the whole, July 4th weekend.
Yeah.
BAB was on balls out
Yeah.
Zeppelin. that day.
BAB and the Eagle.
Yeah. All right. Number 23 is Audio Slave, self-titled. Number 24 is the new shit from Papa Roach.
Yep.
And number 25 is Super Unknown by Soundgarden.
Kind of surprised that one's still up there, to be honest.
Not surprised.
Yeah. Just that list kind of hurts now.
Yeah, I know. That's why I kind of like reading it that one as a whole.
I'm grimacing hard right now.
Yeah, he's definitely got the grumpy cat face on right now.
Yeah, I got the homely look on my face right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not looking good.
He's got that Robert Duvall bottom of his chin coming out right now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. What?
I don't know.
That's how he talks. He talks out the bottom of his chin.
I've only seen so many movies with Robert Duvall in it, which is a shame because what I've seen him in I've enjoyed. So
Yeah, we're talking like Apocalypse Now, The Godfather 1, 2.
you see, you're going way too far in the past. If you-
Okay. Gone in 60 Seconds.
Nope.
Jesus Christ.
I saw
The Judge?
Well, yeah, I was there at your house when we watched The Judge.
Oh, was that? Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, so I'm going to work on that. I'm going to not mention the movies I haven't seen on this podcast. So I don't need to get people to be like, listen, this has nothing to do with your show, but why haven't you seen this movie?
Well,
I don't
we
need
do that to Pat enough.
Yeah, well.
Well.
Anyway,
But isn't he the one that's like only recently watched Die Hard for the first time?
I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh.
I mean, I there's a lot of quote-unquote classic movies I haven't seen, so I can't say much. But I'm working on getting to that. Like, whenever Lindsay and I are sitting around on the weekend, we're like, yeah, we should probably watch that Godfather box set. Yeah.
If you're not gonna watch it, give it back to me.
No, eat 10 dicks.
Give it back. Rachel kept the other one. All I got left is my bones.
All right, that's it. You're done. Your bones. So, bones.
The whole goddamn planet.
I'm Captain Kirk. Your bones, bitch. Now, let's start talking about the next segment, which is I Saw a Show. Guess what? I saw a show.
See, I think that's our new dynamic now. Is I do new releases, you do shows.
Yeah, because, well, this is also only the third show I've gone to in the last month. It's like, yeah, all right, school's done. I can do everything I wanted to do. I haven't done shit.
Lots of napping.
A lot of napping.
A lot of napping.
Working overtime. And just...
Taking care of business.
Yep.
No talking, no new crap. Taking care of business now.
Get to the working overtime part.
You know what's amazing, though? Like, I was not very familiar with that song until recently when we started listening to it, either at work. It's one of those things where, like, we have Spotify or whatever the hell my coworker has playing, and I'll hear a lot of 70s stuff because that's the thing we were like, okay, where's the in between where we can both enjoy what's going to be played? Like the 70s had a lot of classic stuff from all genres, so we're like, okay, let's throw on the 70s, and I hear that song once a day. And occasionally I'll just reach over to my drawer, grab the key, go to the bathroom, walk outside, and there it is playing again. Because the building plays music, and a lot of it is the 70s. So I'm sitting there, at work, taking care of business. I got to piss, walk outside, taking care of business.
That's the kind of business you're taking care of.
Apparently so. Oh, my God. Also, a whole lot of Dreamweaver, and the boys are back in town.
Dreamweaver. Oh man, it was really random. The other day, I was training a client who plays like a classic rock station in her garage when we train.
Okay.
And I've heard it like once or twice before, but it just randomly played the original version of "Whiskey in a Jar" by Thin Lizzy.
Okay.
So good.
I don't think I've heard it yet.
Oh.
That's one classic band that I really actually legitimately want to get into, not for any sort of ironic reasons or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, I have a general interest in what they sound like beyond "The Boys Are Back in Town," because it's one of the few ones I hear. Like I know a little bit of Jailbreak,
Yeah.
but I don't think I know enough of their stuff.
Well, let's just say that the Metallica version does justice to it, but I think the original version is better.
I'm sure it is. So back to what we were saying 5 minutes
Right.
ago.
Sorry, guys.
I saw a show.
Sorry.
So I went to go see Raven Black at Jack's Patio Bar. We've kind of talked at length about Jack's Bar in the past.
We've been there a lot.
Yes, and it's always a great place to go to for just general sound. It's kind of a wide open area with seats around the side, which is good because Lindsay does not like to stand.
The first time we went there was for when we did the Apollo interview.
Yes, I came there very late.
Very late.
So I caught the end of Apotheca.
Yeah.
But anyway, Raven Black was playing. This is actually, I think they said on stage that this was the first show, but according to their tour poster, this is the second of their first headlining tour across the states. So I don't know. I'm gonna take the band's word for it. First show, woo, San Antonio,
Woo, yeah.
go me. So I had a chance to see them live a few months ago, probably 2-3 months ago, and I passed up the opportunity. Unfortunately, they were playing at Tonic. I don't remember who else they were playing with. Although Tonic would have been pretty cool to see their stuff because the stage is so low to the ground. But when I heard that when the tour was coming around this time, I was like, okay, have to catch them. And I had a very strong feeling that Lindsay would be a fan of theirs because they kind of have all the aesthetics that Lindsay likes. Yeah, so I had a feeling that she'd be very.
Yeah.
Well, no, because the way I initially described it to her was like, hey, if Harley Quinn from the Batman series had a band.
Well then,
Yeah, that was
locked in right there.
That was my initial way of introducing it, which is not the case, of course. It's kind of what got the initial intrigue in her. So we went to the show. We caught the last 3-4 songs from Final Exit. They're a metal band here in San Antonio. It's one of those things I've heard the name so many times. They've kind of been on the bill of a lot of shows that I've been to, but for one reason or another, I've never actually caught them. Mm-hmm. So they may be worth a follow-up in the near future. They do play a lot of random shows. I feel like they're always on like the heavy bills at Bonds. There's something that we definitely intend to follow up on. After they were done, Lindsay and I went off to go sit on the side by their merch table, and of course, me and Lindsay we're not very sociable types for the most part. And of course, we end up sitting underneath like the one bright light in the entire venue. So it's like, hey,
talk to us.
everybody look at us.
We're the weird people.
Even when the band goes on, I think it was even like a light. It was like one of those beer lights. So we went and sat over there, and we had a pretty much great view. We were maybe 10 feet from the stage.
Jackson can't really have a bad seat.
No, you can. You definitely can. Maybe sound-wise, which I might get into shortly.
Okay.
You can have, like the time we saw Seance, and I couldn't hear Bob's guitar, even though I was right in front of his amplifier. So we end up getting a spot about 10 feet away. The band starts setting up, and already I'm intrigued because their general look, if you go online, look at like the cover of their album or any of their videos or anything, they have a lot of the spookier aesthetics. Guys behind the instruments, the guitar player, the bass player, and the drummer, they're all kind of painted up a little bit. One of which has like a top hat, one of them has like a big crazy face mask and stuff. So aesthetically, they're there to look pretty scary. And then you have the singer who's dressed up as basically a spooky doll, and that's how she apparently presents herself. She said it on stage, like, I'm just some creepy doll. So aesthetically, by just looking at the band, you're like, okay, this is interesting. I'm cool with this. And they start bringing out their stage setup, which is just a lot of things like clocks, because this is the Hexaclock tour. They had like a grandfather clock in there. Basically, they had enough stuff to fill out the rest of the stage. Like instead of like putting up like stuff like things to drape down in front of the amplifiers, they just had these little props to fill up the rest of the stage. So the stage looked full. And the whole time the band's up there setting up and everything, they're being very cordial with the audience, which plays well into their performances. So they finish getting everything set up, they go off stage, they start the intro, and they come on and they kill it. They're an awesome live band. Again, the look of the musicians kind of makes it a little bit more like intimidating in a way. Musically, it's I was trying to say it was a cross between nu metal Rob Zombie, not like the Staind side of nu metal. We're talking about like a little bit more upbeat, a little more fist pumping, like the Manson,
kind of like the anthem rock.
Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah, it's the Manson and the Rob Zombie side of nu metal, but also with more tendencies towards the new wave of American heavy metal.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of in the between there.
It's a 4-piece here, right?
It's a 4-piece, yes.
So guitar, bass, drums, and singer.
Are you looking at the picture?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you're seeing the aesthetics there.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of spooky carnival-ish.
Yeah.
Which again was part of the aesthetic that I thought that Lindsay would like. She's actually a big fan of the Devil's Carnival series, which, for those who don't know, if you've ever seen Repo the Genetic Opera, the same guy who did that did the Devil's Carnival, and it's basically one of those like several stories of woe wrapped around one big story going on, and it kind of hits on the same aesthetics, the kind of same musical vibe. I walked into this show not knowing any of their stuff, except for the one song that they had a video for, which I listened to kind of just to get ready for the show, get Lindsay into it and everything. And from the get-go, I was feeling it. But the point that I got really into the show, they were playing their songs, "Still Healing," which is now my favorite song by them. And pretty much, it was pretty early in the set, and they're kind of leading up into the chorus. Singer gets up onto the little ego
monitor.
stand. Yeah, well, monitor, but I call it. It's one of those ones that lights up, the ego stand. Yeah. She gets up there, pretty much just extends her arm to the crowd and lets out this guttural yell. Like this is a female-fronted band that can do that kind of subdued singing style, spooky vocals like Scaretail, Nightwish, like that whole that way. But she actually does it well, because I hate that Nightwish song, but this is done better. And then goes right into like a very high-pitched guttural black metal-ish yell.
Whoa, wow!
And it's and as soon as she did that for the first time on that song, I was like, "You've got me. I'm done. This is fantastic. Great energy all around." Again, they had all the props on stage. The singer, for each song, she grabbed a different prop, and it kind of played into the song. For one, she had like a giant teddy bear. For one, she dressed up as a witch. She had a mirror for one of them.
So she had an umbrella for another one?
Umbrella for the first song, which that was just cool. And in my head the whole time, I was like, oh man, if I post a picture of this, Pat's gonna be like, where's Marty Skrull, who is a wrestler who his whole shtick is, one part of his shtick is having an umbrella in his hand. But anyway, so they played for about 55 minutes, 55 minutes. So I think it was just under an hour, I'd say. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I'm now a big fan of this. Like, I bought the CD after the fact, and I've been listening to it. Big fan of it now. When they come back around, I'm definitely going to catch them again, and I will drag Lindsay with me because she was very happy. And she's just kind of hard to bring to show sometimes. Now, the thing is, I know where there's going to be a lot of detraction from folks, because automatically people are going to look at them and be like, what is this goth shit? What is this Halloween shit? Halloween for kids? What is this hot topic shit? But you know what? They take the shtick, they take their aesthetics, and they carry it on to the extreme. Like if you're gonna do something like that, you go full force with it, and that's what they've done, and it works extremely well for them. I will say also, later in their set, they covered a Marilyn Manson song that I'm not aware of, because it's from Hollywood, an album I don't have. Apparently, it's one of his singles. Apparently, it's called "The Nobodies."
I think I've heard it.
Yeah,
I've heard of it at least.
it made me care about a Marilyn Manson song. As much as I like Marilyn Manson, I can't say I've ever really fully been strongly into it. I think you last week were discussing about Portrait of an American Family.
Yes, it was.
But this has made me want to actually hear the original. It was a great performance all around. And after the set, bought the CD, bought a poster, and the lady behind the merch table said, "Oh, well, if you wait around, the band will be out here and they can sign it for you." I was like, "That'd be awesome." Like,
Of course.
Because like my thoughts were, okay, I'm gonna get this CD, I'm gonna get this poster, and then the next time they come around, I'll bother them for a signature. So this time around, we ended up deciding to sit and wait underneath the very bright light, looking very, very awkward, because that's what we do. But the singer Raven came up and talked to us for a little while, which was very nice, a very sweet lady. Got a chance to say hi to the rest of the band. They all signed my poster and everything. Very nice people. Very happy I caught this show. Very happy I caught this particular one, just because it was them headlining. It was them in their own element, and they rocked it. So next time they come around, I'll be sure to catch it. So,
Nice.
So, and I think you should probably listen to some of it. Definitely look up the song "Still Healing," or
Cool.
I'll just send you the EP later on.
That works too.
Yeah, because it's definitely good.
Awesome.
So, cheers to them.
Hell yeah.
Quick thing before we go on to our discussion. So today was a meet and greet at Eisenhower Flea Market here in San Antonio, and it was pretty much put together by Chronic Productions, Simon Ortega, who is a promoter here in San Antonio, guy who I've actually been friends with on Facebook for a decent amount of time, but I've never actually met the man. So I met him today. But he's putting together a benefit show on July 29th at the Rock Box for basically, I believe it's brain aneurysm awareness. And I know 4 big original bands are going to be playing, and I think it's being headlined by, I think it's Sad Wings is the name of the Judas Priest tribute band. So I think they're headlining, and then beneath them you've got Bifist, Cyrus, Trejo, and Killstorm,
Damn.
which is just a supremely solid metal lineup here in San Antonio. But those 4 bands were all there at the flea market earlier today to do meet and greet and everything. Still working on the Bifist interview, but I actually spoke to the other 3 about getting interviews soon. So you can look forward to some interviews with those guys. So I'm talking about Trejo, I'm talking about Killstorm, and I'm talking about Cyrus in the near future. I'd say they're all going to happen probably within the next 3-4 weeks. So look forward to that. Go to the show, July 29th, Rockbox. Check it out.
And just a side note here, because I saw it while I was scrolling here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Blabbermouth right now, and apparently Steve Grimmett from Grim Reaper,
Back on stage.
he is back on stage after having his right leg partially amputated.
Mm-hmm.
He's walking around with a prosthetic leg and also using a wheelchair.
Yes.
But the operation, of course, we talked about this, happened in January after an infected wound on his foot spread to the bones in his leg, partway through the group's 5-week tour in South America. He had life-saving surgery in Ecuador, and he was in the hospital for over a month. So this is his first chance to be on stage this week at the Bang Your Head Festival in Germany.
I saw some photos of that. So I saw him at one point sitting on the wheelchair, and then I saw a picture of him propped up with the cane. I didn't know that he was going to be propping himself up.
Yeah.
I was expecting just the wheelchair, but good on him for getting back out there and doing it.
Yep, absolutely.
That's a never say die attitude right there.
Right on.
So good man.
Hell yeah.
Support that shit.
Wanted
hard.
to be on that before we missed it, and I had to report it next week.
Yeah.
So
No, that's good. All right, so let's move on to our discussion for the week. Now, originally we had a discussion point, then we were going to do a dual discussion point, but I our second discussion point ended up spiraling out of control, and I liked it so much that we decided to make it a solid thing and just go through it all. For those of you who are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/theshredshack, you'll have seen that Pat a few days ago posted up a picture that says, "Name a band you can't stand, but everyone else seems to love." I'm not going to say who's in that picture just yet because that comes up later. But we started getting a couple of comments for it, and I was like, cool, I like the idea. So I said, let's keep them coming. We'll talk about it on the podcast. And then we just kind of got a whole shit ton. And
It's
that
probably
will
our highest reaching post in a long time.
our highest reaching self post, because my pictures of Raven Black got shared like crazy.
Oh, okay.
That got I got a lot of stuff, and for good reason. I love them. So let's just go chronologically with these.
All right.
So I'm going to start off. First thing we had up was from Stephen Martin, and he said Nickelback. So the thing is, name a band you can't stand, but everyone else seems to love. I almost, like, they sell very well. I almost unanimously hear hate about them. I don't know anybody who actually likes them. I don't personally know anybody who likes them beyond, like, me, and partially, maybe less than a quarter, you.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like you said, they sell out all the time. They're obviously, I mean, we just talked about them. Their new album is on the charts at number 60 or 40, whatever it was.
Whatever it is.
I mean, still on the charts. They have 2 on the hard rock charts, which means their music, even their older stuff, is still playing.
Yep.
And I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, there's not one person that we know personally that would say that they go ahead out of their way to listen to Nickelback, but they obviously have fans.
yes, and it's one of those things where, like, a lot of artists, like, you can't get away from their fans in some way, shape, or form. But with Nickelback, I just feel like I've never encountered anyone. Just I don't know. So I can agree with that. Like, that a lot of folks would have that gripe, but not having been surrounded by people who are just, like, going on and on about them, I can't feel the same way that this individual does.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I mean, the only thing that really pisses me off right now about Nickelback is his feud with
Corey Taylor.
which is like, you're calling Stone Sour Nickelback light? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
And I think my favorite one was Write a Hit Song. It's like, oh yes, Bother wasn't a hit song. Through Glass wasn't a hit song.
But the thing is, it doesn't need to be a hit fucking song.
Well, no, that was his thing though. That was like, Corey Taylor, write a hit song. It's like, that's 2 right there.
Yeah.
I mean, and not to mention, like, the entire rest of the House of Golden Bones album, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Photograph. Mic drop. Walking away. That's all.
Onto the dance floor, coming right back to finish off.
That's gonna become a thing too. Turn around, go to the dance floor, come right back. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about Nickelback.
Yeah.
Nathan Maydell, I'm probably pronouncing that slightly off, says, I know I might get some hate for this, but for me it's Judas Priest. I just find their music very bland and uninteresting. I understand that they're incredibly influential to the bands to come after them, but I'm just not a big fan of their music. There was a frowny face and a crying face from Stephen Martin, and Chris Paleo from Zero the Hero responded by saying, kind of agree with you. Don't hate them all, but to me, they just don't make my top 20 bands list. Chris, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think Judas Priest is fantastic. I mean, I think they deserve all the love they get. Personally, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where that guy's coming from. I think their music is very interesting, actually.
Actually. To be honest, I can kind of see where they're coming from. I don't think Judas Priest would make my top list. Again, maybe I'm not as into their catalog overall. I love a lot of their stuff. Yeah, Screaming for Vengeance, start to finish,
yep.
Phenomenal album. Brave Steel, start to finish, phenomenal album. Stained Glass. So I do like a lot of their stuff. I just don't feel like too much of it was... I feel like they had a lot of the craft down right, but I feel that they were outclassed by Iron Maiden. Of course, I'm going to feel that way regardless because Iron Maiden's my number 1 band of all time, but I think generally speaking, I think they were just outdone by Iron Maiden. So, so yes, I would say I certainly, no doubt in my mind that they are influential as fucking hell, but I just can't put them on any sort of pedestal personally.
You can't separate them from like somebody else. Like you can't put them on like the same level as Iron Maiden. They're there, but
Yeah, they're in the mix somewhere. But as far as like those guys that are rising high, like the first ones I'll think of, they're not really, they're not really there. I have all the albums. I've seen them live. They're fantastic, but I would just push them aside for other bands from the same time and genre. So, so I can understand that a little bit. So, so there you go.
here's
Next
one
up,
for you, buddy.
Next up, Bird Gaffrin from the One Up Cup says Nirvana. Bird Gaffrin, you are my spirit animal. And then he actually followed that up by saying, the only reason Nirvana still gets praised today is because Kurt Cobain killed himself, or so I feel. They're a boring grunge band in a sea of boring grunge.
See, I think that's the problem, is that he's just generalizing the genre. I think what he's not doing is taking into context the time in the music industry itself. I mean, Nirvana was an explosion for American teens who didn't want the stuff that was popular at the time. The stuff that was popular at the time was hair metal. That was the biggest shit out there.
This is speaking from you as a 10-year-old you, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the biggest shit out there, was a whole bunch of hair metal. It was generic, boring shit. Or as he would say, in a sea of boring hair metal. Switch genres here. I mean, thrash metal was doing good, but the thing is, like, in 1991, 1992, where like Nirvana came out, Metallica was changing their sound. Pantera was just hitting a stride, but they weren't like thrash metal. I mean, Nirvana was accessible to a lot more people than heavy metal was, and I think that's why they are as revered as they are.
I can understand the reasoning behind the reverence. I just don't like it. I think that they were among the lesser talented bands of grunge. I think that the ones that kind of got the shaft were significantly better. I've already said this many times. Alice in Chains was the number one grunge band. I will fight you to the very fucking end.
Well, the thing is, I think what the problem there with that one is that I think Alice in Chains was lumped in with the whole grunge genre. I think they're more of a metal band. Same thing with specifically early Soundgarden was more metal than anything else. Nirvana really set the stage and really set the precedent of what grunge became, I think.
Yeah. It's just I like Nirvana, I like Nevermind, and all that good shit. I have never understood the allure. Even knowing the historical sense of it, I have never understood it. I have put everybody else above them. I think Soundgarden's a better band. People will say that Stone Temple Pilots was derivative as fuck. I think they were better than Nirvana. Pearl Jam, even at the time where people thought they were just kind of getting soft and selling out, I thought they were better than Nirvana.
I think Pearl Jam was always more of a rock and roll band anyway. I think they were also lumped into the grunge because they all came up. It's the same problem that came up with nu metal. All the bands that came up at that time were lumped into a genre. Yeah. So I think that's the same thing that happened with a lot of these other bands. I think Nirvana was a very standalone band where the other bands were also standalone in their own right. Pearl Jam was a very talented rock and roll band. I mean, they had so many more influences than just what Nirvana had. I mean, for Christ's sake, I think Mike McCready used to dress up as Stevie Ray Vaughan and play a fucking Fender Stratocaster because he revered that guy so much on stage. They're more influenced by blues and rock and roll than anything else, while Nirvana was trying to get away from all that stuff, get away from what was, influential to them. I mean, they were influenced by like the Beatles, Aerosmith, and Led Zeppelin, but they didn't sound anything like them.
But you could say that about a lot of bands, though. A lot of bands that are influenced by such artists. The thing is, for every step they try to step away from something, they kind of pigeonhole themselves into something else, and it just kind of became.
I don't think that was their fault though. That was the audience's fault.
No. I will just end this by saying I have never understood.
Well, at the time when they were around, that was like probably like right around where I started to really get into music as a whole, not just what was on the radio, but music as a whole. I remember burning a hole through Nevermind over and over again. Yeah. Just the tape, nonetheless, the tape of Nevermind over and over again. It was just so different than what was out there at the time.
Yeah. I guess me being not as cognizant at the time, I think I was still buying my Aerosmith albums at the time.
Or were you even buying albums at the time? Because we're talking about like 10-year-old me, 7-year-old you.
Yeah, 94 is when I started. So I think by the time...
By the time he passed away?
No, because... Yes. Yeah, probably. Something like that. Because I started getting my first CDs when I was 9. So... Yeah, no. he was probably...
Yeah, he was dead.
Yeah, so... Anyway, so that's my thoughts. Next one up from Villain. Villain. I saw the V.
Yeah.
Philip Vautour says Motley Crue.
Yes.
Yes. But you know what the thing is though? I feel again. Like the Nickelback thing. I don't feel like I've heard a general amount of love for Motley Crue. I feel like there's mostly been hate for them.
Well, the thing is, their shows still sell out.
Those shows still sell out.
Their albums are still on charts every once in a while. Motley Crue's greatest hits, what was it?
Yeah, damn Cougars.
Panties dropping everywhere.
You know what? Nikki Sixx.
Still, I mean, I just never got the appeal of this band.
Again, it's a matter of... Aside from maybe Too Fast for Love and Shout at the Devil, I feel like much of Motley Crue was a matter of the parts being greater than the sum. I think I said last week, Mick Mars, underrated guitarist. Mm-hmm. Nikki Sixx, potentially a dick in real life, has got the drive to be, rock star, entrepreneur, so on and so forth. As big of a dick as he may be, who knows? Not a fan of Vince Neil.
No, he's horrible.
As a singer, I'm not a fan of Vince Neil. As a human being, I'm not a fan of Vince Neil. I don't have a very particularly strong liking for Vince Neil.
Man, when he died in Fort Fairlane, yeah, best part of the movie, opening scene.
If anybody hasn't seen Adventures of Ford Fairlane and you have a real mean hard-on for the death of Vince Neil, go watch it.
It's definitely cathartic.
I'm not wishing that upon him. I will not be there for that. And then Tommy Lee, who, he's known for being a drummer, but everything else he's done other than that, aside from maybe the sex tape, I haven't seen it, I don't know. That may be a spectacle, I have no idea. It's probably more of a spectacle than his fucking drum solo was at the show I saw. But I don't really have any sort of inclination toward Tommy Lee as just a general musician, aside from his time in Motley Crue. So I feel like they're hit or miss for the most part. A lot of their hit songs I don't care for. I don't care for Home Sweet Home.
Ugh.
I really don't care for Home Sweet Home. The only time I cared about Home Sweet Home is when it appeared at the end of Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yes.
That was fucking hysterical.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't care for that song. Girls, Girls, Girls is kind of annoying.
Horrible.
Their cover of "Smoking in the Boys' Room" actually isn't terrible. I'm just not a huge fan of the song. It's one of those times where not even like a cover of a song I don't like can save it. Like I hate All the Young Dudes. Not even Dickinson's cover of that song can save it for me. So, and I think that's part of the reason why I liked their self-titled album so much. The one without Vince Neil. We're talking about 90s, we're talking about things changing. They changed up their sound to something that was like bigger, I don't want to say tougher, maybe heavier. But I found it to be fucking exhilarating comparatively. Their comeback albums thereafter weren't spectacular, although Saints of Los Angeles was pretty fantastic. But yeah, I don't really see as much liking for them as much as I do hate for them.
Yeah. just the fact that they were able to continue on and still do these shows and stuff like that is just like, ugh.
I feel like that's a lot of the drive of Nikki Sixx. I want to attribute it to that, but but still, I'm going to end it by saying Mick Mars underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the riffs he put into Motley Crue songs are actually really fucking good, and yeah. Next one up by Chrissy Schenker says the one pictured, ugh. The one pictured in the original picture that we posted for this was U2. I was saying some things before we started this podcast that I said I was going to hold off until now. I'm going to let you speak first. So, what do you got to say about U2?
Meh. I can live with or without. I'm good.
Get
either
the
way.
fuck out of here.
I can live with or without you too.
Where's it? There it is.
Guns, motherfucker!
Totally didn't even mean to do that, but yeah, owned it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Seriously, no. I can give or take. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, if they're on, I won't go out of my way to turn them off, but I also won't go out of my way to listen to them.
I'll extend that one and say that if I'm turning on the radio for whatever reason, I've lost the will to live, and if U2 is on, I will go look for a different song to listen to. And oftentimes, if I can't find a different song to listen to, I might turn off the radio. That is not to say that I don't like U2. I have to be in the mood to listen to them because I do find them very, very boring. You have to be in a mood to listen to someone like U2. I remember when I was in undergrad, and I was in a writing class. I believe it was a writing class, and our teacher was apparently a big fan of U2. And this is at the time where I was drinking during school. So I, in my state of being, was like, "Oh my God, U2 is boring."
Did you really say that?
I did. let me just do this. I'm a very awkward and shy person. When I drink, sometimes
the animal comes out.
I get carried away, and when you bring up something that I have passion about, like the fact that U2 is quite boring, I will respond very negatively.
And loudly.
Again, I do like a lot of their stuff, but the fact that they have such a fan base, are selling out millions all over the world, I don't. I guess it's one of those things where their fan base is cemented. There is no chiseling away at it. But the thing is, you have to have some sort of terrible entity on your side if you can give your album away for free and have everyone go, "No, thank you."
True. Very, very true.
There are very few people that will have a gift shoved back in their face like that.
Like, even the people in Troy didn't do that with the goddamn horse. That was fucked up.
Because they opened up that horse and out were a whole bunch of U2 albums. They're like, "Nah, you take that shit back."
Nah.
Nah, bro, nah.
You have fucked up. You have fucked up now.
Those Greeks bearing gifts, fuck those guys. So yeah, I can definitely understand this one. I don't understand the widespread allure. Again, this is a band that was so huge in the 80s and that has kind of stayed the course.
Yep.
So, again, it's a matter of knowing the history, but not really being cognizant of the time, and I can't say much about it, but I don't get it. You know?
Neither do I.
So that one I definitely agree with. I can't feel U2.
No.
Ha! Jokes.
Ha!
Touching things.
Especially myself. I'm touching myself tonight.
I'm touching myself tonight. So the next thing I posted, because I started this was taken off. I posted up a thing saying, "Keep them coming. We'll be talking about your opinions on the podcast, the next episode of the podcast." Next one.
This motherfucker.
Next one. Hold on. There's more to this little story. Next one comes from Jesse Zeepers. And it says, "It's Queen for me. Great musicians, I can't stand their music." And I was going to follow up by saying, "All right, polls closed." We are done. The show is over.
Man, fuck that guy.
However, as huge a Queen fan as I am, number 2 band of all time for me, I can understand where the gripe comes from, because they have that crossover appeal. They are very accessible, but perhaps to many it's too much to a popish point.
We are a heavy metal entertainment website, so I guess that makes sense.
Yes, so it's to a more poppy extent. So I can agree on that. At least there is the acknowledgement that they are great musicians, because simply put, they were fantastic. And I think that if they wanted to do metal, they could have done metal. They could have done.
They did it occasionally. I mean,
they
Stone Cold Crazy is a fucking awesome metal track for a hard rock band.
If they down-tuned and got a little more fuzzy, they probably could have pulled off like a Motorhead-esque metal song with Stone Cold Crazy.
Yeah.
But again, it's a matter of them being as diverse as they were, and that not necessarily appealing to everyone. Also,
Led Zeppelin didn't write songs everyone liked.
they left that to the
They
Bee
left to the
Gees.
Bee Gees.
Actually, the Bee Gees aren't fucking terrible. Again, 70s I've been listening to a lot lately, so. So, I will say that you are wrong, sir. Very much so.
You are wrong.
Your opinion is actually absolutely terrible, and I hate it. But no, I can
understand.
I can understand why you'd feel that way. So I appreciate your boldness in saying that to me, and never contact us again.
You have now been blocked.
That being said, please keep listening.
Please.
Now, next up is my boy, Andrew Pelagic.
Ah, yes, Captain America.
Captain America right here.
Captain America.
That's right. If you ask him anything, he will tell you he jumps out of planes and saves the world on a daily basis.
And if you read his Facebook page, that's pretty much exactly what he does.
And if you steal a French fry from him, he will tell you that he kills people for a living. That is not a made-up story. That actually happened. And he said that to Pat's sister.
God, I love that man. He's awesome.
So,
God damn it.
so
He just killed me for a living.
I kill people for a living.
Jesus Christ, French fries. Freedom fries, motherfucker.
So he said, Papa Roach or corn, to which Jon Snow, who knows nothing, said we can't be friends.
Watch the show. And he knows the reference. Crazy.
Of course I do. It's a meme. I get memes in my face all the time. Anyway.
That sounds very dirty.
Yes, well, at least memes aren't dick pics, because that would have sounded even worse.
Yeah.
So Andrew said, Papa Roach or corn? Yes, and yes.
Well, I would definitely say Papa Roach, because I think
Papa Roach were one of the bands who played musical chairs with their style and did what paid. Now, yes,
pretty much.
Now, every time I mention something like this to my wife, like, she will go on a tirade, basically saying, like, everyone wants to get paid for something. I don't care what it is. So the idea of selling out is nothing in her mind. And in many ways, I can agree with her. But the thing is, with Papa Roach, you didn't do the first one very well. Like, you did okay, like, your rap metal thing. Yeah. You started moving into rock. Then you moved into, like, emo rock. And now I think you're trying to get back into rap again.
I don't know what they're doing
You
now.
guys are playing the Kid Rock route. And
At least they didn't go country.
And that you're walking the road of suck.
Well, the thing is, I think their popularity has definitely waned.
You say that, but they're still kind of swirling around underneath the radar.
No, the thing is, like, I think where Andrew's coming from with Korn is still a huge band, and he's wondering why, especially because, like, the last couple records, from what I understand, have sucked.
The most recent one wasn't bad. I liked a bit of it. I mean,
Yeah?
having not heard a new Korn album in a decade, I was pretty okay with it.
I was just very upset with the one that came out like 10 years ago. The Back Home one or something like that. The one that would say we're going back to our original sound from
probably 3 or something like that.
It was such a disappointment.
See, I feel like I've been burned enough times by bands saying we're going back to our roots. It's like, no, you're not.
Well, yeah, Saint Anger.
Yeah. or like bands say, yeah, we're using the original equipment that we used to record this album, Operation Mindcrime 2. So yeah, when everybody says that, it's like, just make music. Don't talk about going back to your roots. Don't try to get back into that mindset. Just make something and stop trying to like recreate something. But with Korn, again, I've never. I liked their radio songs. I love the album Issues, but aside from that, I never had a strong liking for Korn in the whole nu metal thing. So I've never seen the reasoning why they have persisted as long as they have. So
I think that has also probably to do with a little bit of that crossover appeal that we keep on talking about. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
they're accessible to both metalheads, hard rock people, rap people. You know, just anyone who wants. They have a little bit of everything for everybody. That's why they probably are still so flippin' popular.
but I just feel like we don't like of.
That's why they're still headlining festival shows.
Yeah.
Like almost every year when we talk about the upcoming festivals, they're on the headlining spot in at least 3 to 4 of them.
Yeah.
At least. Every year.
But I can understand. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get why.
Yeah.
Yeah. This, it's just like, how are you still
That
popular?
viable and relevant.
Yeah. And then similarly to Papa Roach, you know, the last time I heard anything from Papa Roach, I did buy one of their albums 8 years ago. It was after Love Hate Tragedy. It was after Scars came out, which like I kind of fucking hate that song. You've probably heard it.
Yeah,
you just didn't know it's them, which I didn't know it was them until someone pointed it out to me. But it's like really just poppy rock
Trash.
Yeah, it's
Trash.
it wasn't a good song. Maybe the rest of the album is good. I don't fucking know, but
Don't care.
Them, like again, them. I guess it's the fact that they can try to recreate themselves and still appeal to masses, but like they kind of need to stop. They were definitely not the cream of the crop of
No,
that
definitely not.
that genre. So I could feel you on that one. Next one up comes from Jay Gabralda, which they said U2 again, and then they kind of went on a whole thing about killing themselves.
Yeah, pretty much. I think my favorite one is using a 12 gauge as a breath mint.
Yes.
That's a good one. I like that one a lot.
That was good. Marco Gaelic says Radiohead.
I could see where he's coming from with that. You know, because I like Radiohead. OK Computer is one of the best albums that's probably ever been recorded in music in general. But
So you're already hurting this man, or
I
this? Yes.
don't particularly care. We're talking about opinions here.
Yes.
All right. But I can see where the lack of appeal for Radiohead for some people is. I mean, they're not exactly. They're not. I don't know.
They're not instantly accessible for one.
Yeah.
Even
I mean, you have to be. This is one of the bands, like you said, you have to be in the mood to listen to Radiohead.
I can listen to Radiohead anytime. This is not U2 level of boring, but Radiohead does kind of like fill a musical niche. Like I'll say, Kid A, great album to fall asleep to. You don't want to say that to them because they might get mad. Cause like,
Look, that was our intention. We wanted you to take a nap while you listen to our music.
this is not a lullaby, you fucking idiot.
But they do make Rockabye Baby albums for Radiohead, which are fabulous.
Which I'm sure they're prime for that kind of thing. They're one of those bands that does have that very, very rabid fan base, and because of their musical experimentation, I can see where people would find their genius, but I can also understand that it does not appeal to everyone for sure, especially their earlier stuff, especially their later stuff. Not all of it.
All
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't release like 3 albums worth of Karma Police, so I mean they have.
But even that song, like that's not even that great of a song. I think one of their ideal songs is Paranoid Android.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I think part of it also has to do with Tom York's voice.
That's also very true.
Which
I mean, he is a little grating sometimes.
In the case of music, the one thing that will kill any band for anybody instantaneously is going to be vocals. That's why a lot of folks have issue with Volbeat, which I'm surprised is not on this list. That's why a lot of people.
I'm actually surprised that Devin Townsend's not on the list, just to kind of piss off me and Pat.
Yeah, but Volbeat in particular, like a lot of folks will listen to it and be like, okay, this is good, and then the vocals kick in. They're like, okay, I'm done. This is trash.
Which sucks, because I think
Yeah.
one of the strongest parts of the Volbeat is his vocals.
See, there you go. It's definitely one side or the other. I think that is a similar case with Radiohead, because you have to if you can't appreciate the high pitched voice or the higher tones that Tom York puts out, you're automatically out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm willing to bet that a good portion of people are turned off by that.
Yeah.
Since we just kind of we asked for opinions here as far as bands, we didn't ask for like specifics or anything. So we'd be interested in knowing some more specifics, in particular for this one for Radiohead. Next up is from Chris Paleo, who we mentioned before, guitar player from Zero the Hero. He said he wrote System of a Clown, which I'm presuming means System of a Down.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I can understand it in a way. I will always say that of all of nu metal, System of a Down was probably the best, or the top three. Up there with maybe Slipknot. But again, they don't necessarily appeal to everyone. Their sound is their guitar work maybe a little bit too simplistic for him being a guitar player that plays a lot of stuff that is very new wave of British heavy metal inspired. So you may not find necessarily too much lore in that. You may find the vocals annoying. Because once Darren got more into it,
I actually like his vocals.
I know, I love it too. But the thing is, like, I was listening to it earlier today, and I was like, that kind of contrast, that kind of almost disharmonious way of approaching things may turn people off.
I think another thing that kind of turned people off from them, and this might be like surprisingly enough that Rage Against the Machine is not on this list, is the political aspect of their music. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't have to agree with them to like them, but I think some people get turned off by bands who are very overt in their political stances in their music.
I think with them though, with System of a Down, I think they did a little bit more to hide it in the music.
They were a little
itself.
more metaphorical.
Yeah, they like, okay, Cigarro, my cock is much bigger than yours. Yeah. That whole song basically being about
arms races or something like that.
So it's basically a very humorous way of wrapping up. Haha, talking about dicks and wrapping up. Very humorous way of kind of just wrapping up something in metaphor.
Yeah.
Whereas Rage Against the Machine was pretty much, here's my mind. I'm aiming it at you, buddy. I'm sure during the shows, System of a Down was a lot more vocal about their stuff early on.
To tell you the truth, I saw them right around when Toxicity was like it's at its peak, and they kept everything very just to the songs.
Yeah,
very into the songs. Nothing about. They didn't do any kind of talking in between, really. I'm sure maybe now they probably do a little bit more, considering what's going on in the world, a little bit more, out there.
Yeah.
Especially some of the shows that they're playing, and they played a free show in Armenia. I mean, that's a pretty hot topic for them. So.
Oh yeah, of course. This, since I was saying about Darren's voice, just generally, again, it may partially also be the vocals in general, because I can see where some folks may be turned off by Serge's voice as well. It just being.
I think it depends on what Serge is singing.
Yeah.
When he actually sings, he's fucking fantastic. I think.
Yeah.
But when he does like some of his weird voices, when he starts doing like almost, it feels like he's trying to be like a cartoon character almost. That kind of turns me off here and there. I can see where like people would be turned off by that. But when he actually sings, like when he does his solo stuff, it's so good.
Yeah. And again, like I was saying before, a lot because it may be seen as a bit more musically simplistic. People may be a little bit turned off by it as musicians, but I feel like they were the most chaotic of that bunch that came out in the rise of nu metal. They were just kind of their own little thing. Like they were the outlier. So I feel like with most of these, I can understand why, but you're wrong.
Well, the thing is, we can also say the same thing as like, if someone was go like Iron Maiden. It's like, well, I can see why you might not like Iron Maiden, but go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Well,
this is all opinions here. All opinions.
well, to go with that, it wasn't put on here, but let's talk about Pat and Reese's hit list that they just put out from the radio show into the video. They're good songs from bad albums, and they were talking about Blaze Bayley. Reese has no right to talk about bad things. Moving on, let's talk about what Sean. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your last name right. Loge.
I would go with Logue only because it's spelled like rogue with an L.
Loge. Okay. So if I'm wrong, tell me to go fuck myself. Please don't.
Please
don't, because I will. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Again, it's a matter of acknowledging that, yes, just the fact that they are everywhere can get a little bit annoying. And if you're not a fan of theirs and having it be everywhere, it does get a little bit tiresome. Especially if they're playing stuff from a new album and those new songs may not be so good.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
I don't think they've released anything that good since Stadium Arcadium.
I think Stadium Arcadium was a phenomenal album.
Yeah.
And I feel like of the last few years, aside from Danny California, maybe Snow Heyo, it's kind of an understated album.
And it's their double album, which was,
Yeah.
that was really...
Yeah, because with Californication, with By the Way, and all that kind of stuff, it felt like it was everywhere. With Stadium Arcadium, you just had Danny California played on repeat, and even that song was kind of fucking boring. Like
that their single was boring, yes.
Yes, but the rest of the album was great.
Yeah, I remember we had that on repeat for a long time.
Yeah, but them being among the biggest rock radio darlings out there right now, I can definitely feel where you're like, man, I'm fucking tired of hearing this.
It's like, why do people like this?
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, because like they've really strayed from their funk sound, and they're really more of like a almost adult-oriented rock now.
Well, without all the crazy keyboards.
But I mean, it's just really very bland.
And they've been hitting that territory for a while. I'd say the last time they went full blast on that side of things was One Hot Minute, which is a criminally underrated album. And I really need that clip from Deep Kick where it's like, oh, shit! I remember when we first heard that at your apartment. We were like, oh, damn! Go! I had the album for years. It's the one song I skipped over. I never cared to listen to it. But, so again, it's understandable that one would feel that way about the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't necessarily agree with it because I do like listening to them. I guess maybe a lot of it also has to do with the songs that get played on the radio all the time. Like I can go an entire lifetime with never hearing "Give It Away" again.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Seriously.
I think if they swapped out a couple of the radio songs, take out "Give It Away," put in "Knock Me Down,"
Ooh.
I'd be set for life.
Fight like a brave.
Fight like a brave. Anything old. Anything from the Uplift Mofo Party Plan. Play it from start to finish, except for was "Party on Your Pussy" on that album, or was it the previous one? Yeah, don't play that song. You'll get in a lot of fucking trouble. We're gonna play it on the S5 next week. Okay.
Might get some listens.
Chris, I have a clip for you for the next one. Hang on one second. Here we go.
So salty.
Philip Snow said "Ghost."
That's fine. I can see where people don't get the Ghost thing. I can see it. I think it has a lot to do with the aesthetics, a lot to do with the music itself, because it's not traditional heavy metal. I mean, it's more rock oriented. I think the whole satanic thing definitely turns some people off. Like, I get why people don't like Ghost, but you're wrong. They are a great, amazing fucking band. I'm sorry. Not sorry at all.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give a
because we got both sides of this here. Because you're not the biggest fan of Ghost.
I'm gonna give a metaphorical, not very enthusiastic high five to Mr. Philip Snow here, who is related to the man who knows nothing. Yeah,
just another bastard.
Twice
born in the North.
Twice in the one show. I'm doing good on references to a show I don't watch.
Yeah, especially because season 7 just premiered, and I'm waiting to kill this podcast so I can go watch it.
Yeah, that's why you've been hustling things along. Like, come on,
move it.
Well,
it's going to be on repeat for
exactly.
a whole week. So
having heard a couple of their songs, having seen them live, I'm still not won over. I don't like. Again, they put on a great live show. Everything else about their aesthetics, don't pull me in. I don't care about the Pope thing. It's cool, but it's like.
What about the sexy magician though?
Sexy magician. Sexy magician. Where's my Dreamweaver clip?
No. We're not talking about the Ganson sisters here. We gotta keep that back. All right.
But yeah, I can definitely understand. Like I don't understand the allure here.
Like I can see why people don't understand why they are so popular as they are.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing I'm not getting. It's like why them among all others? Why I feel like they're hitting a similar stride as like Volbeat, but I can understand why Volbeat is getting the
Acclaim.
Yeah, I was gonna say the heat, but like that's a bad term.
Yeah, because they usually divert heat.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say the heat. Heat's a term for bad stuff. But so I can understand Volbeat, but I'm not understanding Ghost.
I think the main thing for Ghost, one of the appealing things for them, for me personally, is that they're taking something that's like a subject matter, Satanism and stuff like that. It's usually very much more geared towards like death metal. When I think of a satanic metal band, I usually think of like DSI with the growling vocals and the blast beats and all this shit. They turn it around, they flip the coin over, and they do a whole 180, and they do it as a rock band, clean vocals, choruses, and like just a straight up like Deep Purple Led Zeppelin type feel behind it, which is kind of like just flipping the whole genre on its ass. And I think that's part of their appeal to some people. Like, I don't even think people really even listen to the lyrics. We sing them with a great blah, 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 blah. But the fact of the matter is, we're just singing because it's a good melody. It's a good song. I don't even think anybody actually pays attention to what this guy's singing. It just sounds good.
To you.
Yeah, to us.
Yeah.
To the fans.
To me, I'm like, okay. Golf clap. So I am on board with Philip Snow for the moment. What I'm not on board with is Mr. Greg Skipton, writing King Diamond.
Nah.
Followed by Chris Palaio from Zero the Hero saying, "How dare you fight me!"
Agreed. After seeing King Diamond live performing Abigail, there is absolutely this wrong. You are wrong, sir.
Again, some of this might come down to vocals, but also musically they are tradition. King Diamond's band has been traditional heavy metal. Perhaps the issue here is that he doesn't find anything outstanding about them.
It kind of blends in.
Yeah, outside of King's voice, is there anything else that kind of stands out to him? And that may be the issue here, on top of King's voice. I will say that getting used to King Diamond's vocals is probably the most daunting task of getting into the band, because it is, like, even for me who loved seeing it live, loved the albums and everything, I still kind of get a little from hearing it too much. So I can understand that point of it, but since again it wasn't a specific response, he just said King Diamond. I mean, my assumption will be the voice. So you're wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with the you are wrong.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm sticking with it.
No, I can. Again, it's a matter of a bit. Okay, this next one's all you, because I don't know enough about the band.
I don't know really enough about the band either.
All right, well, it's Tom Gaffron, brother of Bird Gaffron, my spirit animal, also of the One Up Cup, and singer of Rise from Your Grave, said Nile.
Well, I can't really say anything only because I've seen them once when they opened up for Overkill. I thought they were great. But the thing is, I don't see where he's coming from with where everybody likes them. They're not like on the level of like a huge metal band that everybody likes, or a huge band that like everybody likes for like no reason. Like we're talking about like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, they're a huge freaking band. Korn is a huge freaking band.
Since we're talking about death metal, you have to take that ceiling and drop it pretty hard. So we're talking about in death metal, why is Nile liked among other death metal
I
bands?
have no idea. You know, like I said, I think I like death metal as a genre in general. I mean, I can't really like just pick one band over another because I just like the genre in general. I'll listen to all of it. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the only thing sometimes that turns me off to some death metal bands are the vocals, specifically like if they get a little too screechy and a little too incoherent. Like I like growling vocals, and I can understand them most times, but when I can't, it's just like, it's a little too much sometimes. Like we talked about way back when, is bands being heavy for the sake of being heavy. Some death metal bands growl for the sake of growling. Like they're probably not even saying words. They're just like literally.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I have nothing to contribute here. I think I'm just going to sum up Chris's statement by saying that all death metal sounds exactly the same, so why not like?
Why not like?
Why not like? Why not Zoidberg? So yeah, I couldn't contribute more to that one. My apologies. We're down to the last few here. Jose Collado, who is the guitar player from Target 7, wrote Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Rush, AC/DC, Queen, so basically everything popular on the radio. Sorry to say it, dude. Hipster.
Hipster.
Now, we can run through these real quick. We already mentioned Queen. AC/DC, yes. Same stuff overplayed over and over and over again. Same albums for the last 30 years. But you know what? That album's still good.
Every time.
Every time, still good. Sound getting a little, surprisingly, as it ages, it's it's getting, it's like a vinyl record. Yeah.
Talk about vinegar.
Let's go into Rush. I like Rush. Never been a huge fan of theirs. I think a lot of it is down to the individual talents of the members of the band.
I also think people really hold them in high regards for their earlier stuff, not so much for what they have put out after, like Tom Sawyer. Because I'm watching the Rush documentary. There was so much reverence for the band when they were in their prog stage, specifically at 2120.
Of 2112.
2112, yeah, I'm sorry. 2112, and like up to like Tom Sawyer. And then
So
after that,
that's like 82.
after that they went off the deep edge. They did like a lot more synthesizer stuff where people just kind of like, why, I think what he might be geared towards is like, why are they still so popular when their most popular stuff happened 20 to 30 years ago?
Yeah. I think, again, I feel like there's more interest in a band like them because of drummers. He may not find the appeal of the guitar as much as you'd find of the drum. Again, a matter of vocals.
Geddy Lee is very polarizing.
Yes, very, very, very polarizing. Perhaps not a fan of progressive rock. We're talking about a guy who has expressed his interest in a very strong interest in guys like Michael Schenker. So very, very rock guitar oriented.
Yes.
So it just may be that prog is not his thing. So these are just little. It seems like everyone's got a gripe somewhere with a band like Rush. Again, I've never gotten like wholeheartedly into them. I like them. I can definitely respect them for their individual skills, for their catalog, and for the fact that they did their 40th anniversary and then kind of stopped.
Yep.
Yeah, so they were able to do that for so long. So kudos to them, but I can definitely feel you. Guns N' Roses.
100% agree with.
The fact, I think a lot of folks forget the fact that Guns N' Roses
Has more than one album.
only has 3 albums.
Yeah.
4 albums, sorry.
4 albums.
Chinese
Chinese Democracy did come out.
Yes. Chinese Democracy ended up coming out. I was supposed to get a free Dr. Pepper. I still have that coupon. Thank you. But we're going to disregard Chinese Democracy because everyone else has, except for me. Appetite for Destruction.
The most overplayed album in the history of overplayed albums.
But since we were talking before about Nirvana and having things be a breath of fresh air and being a blast out of nowhere, 1987 was Appetite for Destruction.
I can see that.
hair metal, hair glam, everything was starting to lose its footing, and they were falling hard. Guns N' Roses, they had the aesthetics of glam, but musically they were just
balls to the wall,
balls to the
hard
wall.
rock.
Exactly. They infused something that the other bands had not or had lost. They had something going on for them on Appetite for Destruction. And again, you may not like the album. You may have gotten tired of hearing it over and over. I've gotten tired of hearing most of Appetite for Destruction. I'm tired of Welcome to the Jungle. I'm tired of Sweet Child of Mine. I'm tired of people not recognizing that Sweet Child of Mine is actually about a woman and not a little girl.
Yep.
So anytime that a dad is dancing with his daughter at a wedding, remember that's written for a girlfriend, not a daughter.
It's also my favorite part of the lore of that song is that the "Where Do We Go Now" part was literally just Axl like in the bridge, like, "Where do we go?
Yeah.
What do we do? What am I supposed to do with this part of the song?
Where is that fucking bridge?
Where is that confounded bridge?" Thank you, Zeppelin.
Yeah. There are still a couple of songs from that album that I will gladly listen to.
My Michelle.
My Michelle, It's So Easy. Rocket Queen.
Rocket Queen.
Mr. Brownstone, I'll still listen to. I think there's one more that I can't think of right now.
The thing is, it's just one of those things like, why are they still so popular?
I think it's because of the fact that that album just had the staying power. More than half the song is still radio played.
It's kind of like the Sex Pistols. They had one album. Why are they so revered?
I was hoping to get through this show without having to talk about the fucking Sex Pistols. Fuck the Sex Pistols. Okay, every gripe that I have about Nirvana, probably about 3 times harder for Sex Pistols.
I mean, I love that album. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the cultural bomb that everyone thinks it was. They had one record, and they've been touring and playing this one record for 40 fucking years.
Yeah.
It's what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Appetite for Destruction. Because they released, I thought Use Illusion 1 and 2, as bombastic and huge as it was, they were better records.
Because a lot of times when bands, they start off raw and they get more refined, it's those refined songs that you feel a little bit better about. Let's talk about Metallica going from Kill 'Em All to Master of Puppets. Let's talk about System of a Down going from the self-titled all the way up to Mesmerize. We're talking about bands that kind of just refine their craft, and you find a little bit more lore in that. Appetite for Destruction was undoubtedly the bigger album among all of them. I think it's over 15 million. I can't remember exactly how many.
It's still on the top 200 every week. So.
Yeah, it's in the States. It's sold phenomenally well. And you hear it on the radio all the fucking time. So I can understand getting tired of it after a while. But when situations like that come up, I try to listen to other tracks from them.
Yeah. So,
and me actually liking Chinese Democracy, like if they played Civil War more often, that'd be cool. If they ever played Don't Damn Me, they played the Garden of Eden.
Oof.
Yeah, they played some of these tracks. I feel like people wouldn't be as tired.
Actually, they do that live, don't they? Occasionally.
I don't know.
Yeah. But it's strange. Like I remember when that video came out, I was like, "Oh my god, Guns N' Roses is an amazing fucking band."
Well, like I'm kind of tired of Live and Let Die.
I'm kind of tired of Knock on Heaven's Door.
Yeah.
Kind of tired of November Rain.
I'm not tired of Don't Cry.
Never tired of Don't Cry.
That's a great song.
I don't know what is about that song, but that song.
But even some of the ones that get more play, Patience, I'm okay with. Used to Love Her. Still
That's
love
just fun.
Yeah, just sing that to Lindsay.
I was gonna say I used to sing that to Rachel all the time.
Dedicate this song to you, baby. Click.
Might explain a few things. That's why I'm left with my bones.
That's why I'm raking the backyard right now. I'm gonna dig that motherfucking hole. I don't even have a goddamn shovel yet. Last one that we had said on his little list there, Metallica. I don't think we need to say more about Metallica.
I mean, we've covered every phase of Metallica's career on this podcast.
This is episode 78 of the podcast. I think we've mentioned. Really?
That's what the script says.
Really?
Yep.
Shit, this episode 79. I'm pretty sure that we've covered Metallica in about 61 of those episodes.
I think more than probably.
So I think we've had our thoughts on Metallica expressed. We know where the problems are, but you have to understand that they are influential.
And the fact is that they are actually still putting out new records.
Yeah.
You know, I have gripes with bands who are living off like 1 or 2 records.
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses. You know, Sex Pistols.
Where's the Sideshow Bob clip? Hold on 1 second. Here we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
But yeah, I know a lot of folks have a lot of issue with the new Metallica album. So, but you know what? Whatever. They're still releasing stuff. If you don't like it, you don't buy it.
I mean, that's it.
So, but no one likes to do that. They like to buy the album and then get mad because they say that the band possessed them to buy the album.
I bought the tickets and they gave me the shitty album.
And then they go to the show and they're like,
No talking. No new crap. Taking care of business now.
yeah. And then I have to sit there in the corner and be all pissy because everyone's being an asshole. And I'm like,
This fat son of a bitch.
bringing that clip back.
Yes.
Thank you, Scott Steiner.
Oh, Scotty Steiner. Love it.
All right, just a few more to go. Tom Gaffron, once again, says The Who. I agree with this one.
I can actually see that. I mean, I like The Who. The thing is, like, my liking of The Who is, like, really based on, like, 2 or 3 albums. We're talking, like, Who's Next, Tommy, and maybe the parts of Quadrophenia I've heard.
Honestly, do they have very many more than that?
They probably have, like, a catalog that, like, spans, like, a long
They probably have
time.
like a 40-year catalog that has like 10 studio albums.
You think so?
I don't think they were that prolific. So you can look that up while we're sitting here talking.
'Cause I am now curious.
I think my favorite song by The Who is Rain Over Me.
It's a great song.
Aside from that, like, I'm not that big into their stuff. Bob O'Reilly, cool, yay. Won't Get Fooled Again, cool.
The whole thing with Tommy is that the concept was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, not really cool because actually the concept sucks, like the actual concept of it. But the concept album and the whole context of the album is good.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get the full-on allure of The Who. I think, again, this was a matter of the timing. I think it was a matter of the notoriety of the live shows. Just musically, I'm not into it. I don't feel it. So,
Oh wow, you are completely right.
yeah.
Yeah, because they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 records.
11 studio records across probably almost or above 40 years.
65, 66, 67, 69. Pretty much successive
Yeah.
years. Then 71, 73, 75, 78, 81, 82. So they were really driving from 1965 to 82. And then their last record was in 2006.
Yeah, I remember that one came out.
So
Yeah.
so you are right. It was only 11 records.
Yeah, they could, well, because after Bodom passed away. Not Bodom, Keith Moon, sorry.
Yeah.
It's just drummers in the 70s were not very much lucky group.
At least they weren't like Spinal Tap drummers.
But yeah.
Well, no, see, they were releasing records after Keith Moon died. They released 3 records after Keith Moon died. He died in 78, and they released albums in 81, 82, and 2006.
Well, unfortunately, again, I don't understand the allure. Maybe again, it was a matter of time, matter of being there and seeing them in their prime. But
I think again, it's a matter of why are they still so popular?
yeah,
Like, why were they
Well,
headlining the goddamn halftime show at the Super Bowl
Well,
when
'cause
they
we-
hadn't released anything of relevance in a long time?
I don't know. You know, again, it may be a classic thing, a nostalgic thing at this point, but yeah, I have to agree with that one, man. So there you go. Last one before we do a little wrap up. Alexander P. O'Marin wrote 5 bands in here: A Day to Remember, Kiss, Megadeth, Cannibal Corpse, Coldplay. Coldplay, right off the bat, I agree with you. I don't understand them. They are boring as piss. I think they're aiming to take the crown from U2. So, fuck Coldplay.
I don't mind Coldplay.
I would,
The thing is, again, I don't see why they're as big as they are.
yeah, I don't get it. Like there's no reason for it. You could say crossover appeal, but they can cross over my nuts.
Again, the thing is they don't have crossover appeal because they really are just appealing towards one particular genre of music, and it's more pop than anything else.
Yeah.
Or, as Jack Black would say in High Fidelity, some sad bastard music.
This is how I sum up Coldplay.
Quick, shoot me in the face!
That 12-gauge breath mint.
That's right. That's right. Work our way backwards. Cannibal Corpse.
I think we're in the same kind of dilemma we are with the Nile thing. I mean, they are very revered in the death metal community, but, can you really put them apart from anybody else?
Can you put them apart from any other sort of classic death metal band? Because they were born from a very tighter, heavier, and maybe faster version of traditional metal.
Yeah.
Like you listen to a lot of like traditional death metal. It's not even crazy technical. It's standard riffage, just a little bit heavier, and those growling vocals over it. And I'll be the first to say, of my genre, I know when everything sounds the same. I can see someone disliking death metal. It's hard for me to wonder why certain death metal bands like Cannibal Corpse. I can maybe understand as far as the vocals go, because there's death metal vocals, and then there's like trying to understand Chris Barnes.
Yeah.
So, it could also be the imagery, because
Well, that's what death metal is, though.
But like they kind of just it's similar to how Slayer shoves their anti-society and religious shit at you. It's like, I got it, guys. You're gore crazy, phenomenal. Okay, I'm tired of looking at all this bloody shit on you. It's like, I got it. That's fine. That's me personally, because like I can't tell one cover from the next as far as they go. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
We'll start from the front because I want to get to the other one last. Day to Remember. Who the fuck is Day to Remember?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, sorry, dude. I have no idea who the fuck that is. So
that makes your choice irrelevant.
well, I don't know anybody who listens to them, so I hope they don't suck that badly. Kiss. Can totally understand that one.
Oh, yes.
I'm a huge Kiss fan, but I can totally understand why people don't like them. Number one being Gene Simmons. No.
No.
No,
Because I mean, when your personality kind of like takes away from the band, I think that's a huge detractor.
Yeah.
From anybody liking you.
Yeah.
If I can't stand you, I just can't stand your band a little bit less. I mean, I don't really like Dave Mustaine, but I like Megadeth. Mm-hmm. I think just Gene Simmons' personality and things that he does and says is just so fucking obnoxious.
This is also another matter of how are they still so popular now, and I think that's just pretty much from the fanaticism of the fans who have aged and then, I don't want to say forced, but likely true, forced it upon their children.
I was going to say, I think Kiss is becoming like a minor religion,
Well,
people are brought up with Kiss.
Which is interesting because, like, I'm a big Kiss fan. You're mild there. When we first went to go see Kiss live, our father was basically just like, fuck Kiss. They suck. So it definitely wasn't his influence that got us into
not.
them.
I think what actually got me to enjoy Kiss at first was their Unplugged performance.
Which was pretty fucking fantastic.
Yeah, and it was also because my friend at the time, Robbie Perez, was actually kind of really into Kiss, and he's the one who told me about it. Mm-hmm. The Unplugged performance I watched, and I actually really enjoyed it. Yeah. And it was actually also like right when they were still doing the no makeup thing, right before Ace Frehley and Peter Criss rejoined the band, and they started doing the makeup thing again.
Yeah.
It was just a different time for the band, and before Gene Simmons really went off the deep end.
Well, as far as we became more cognizant of Gene Simmons being Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
Now I can understand again having to hear. Like, I can go without hearing rock and roll all night for the rest of my life. I'm getting tired of it. They do have a lot of great rock songs that are overlooked. For those who, I think if you want to go listen to some good metal covers of Kiss songs, you might enjoy a lot of them. Galactic Cowboys covering "I Want You" is fucking fantastic. I'm fairly certain Anthrax has covered "Deuce." So a lot of good metal.
I want to hear a metal version of I was made for loving you.
Well, that's the funny thing because I heard the original version of that.
It's not a bad song.
No,
I hate
no,
to say
no.
it.
The original version is weak as shit. The live version, because they pump the living hell out of it, like they like they make it into an anthem. When you hear the original version, it's boring as fuck. It's like he's just sitting there scratching his ass, like I was made for you, you were made for me. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. You know, the live performance is what brought that song alive. And while I'm on this topic, the live performance is what's kept the band alive.
Yeah, I
So-
think it's because they're more of a show than a band. Now.
Yeah.
Or they've always been more of a show than a rock and roll band.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what their shtick has been since 19 whatever the fuck.
They've always been focused on bringing you the best show. Like I will sit here and hate on Gene Simmons. In fact, I'm just going to play a little clip for you right here.
Oh, man. Hey.
I'll hate on the man to Kingdom Come, but the drive to put on a good show is extremely important, and he possesses it. I can give him credit for that.
Yep.
And it's what
I can see that.
and I said it during Iron Maiden, and I said it before during Raven Black. It's you're putting on a live show. Perform the hell out of it. Don't bore us with crap. So yeah, Kiss. I can understand people not liking them, not understanding the appeal of them, for sure. But they do definitely have something. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Fuck them.
Yeah. So yeah. Last one he wrote on here, Mr. Alexander P. O'Marin, was Megadeth. I don't know how to base this, unfortunately, because the bands he mentioned kind of cover a wide genre spread, because Coldplay is under the definition of trash. Cannibal Corpse, death metal. A Day to Remember, it kind of sounds like they might be metalcore, and then Kiss is hard rock. Megadeth is the only like closely traditional metal band, thrash metal band on the list. If you're not a fan of Megadeth, are you a fan of Exodus? Are you a fan of Testament? Are you a fan of Metallica? Are you a fan of any of the other thrash metal bands? Is it just thrash metal? Or does it just come down again to
Dave Mustaine.
a voice?
I'm not even talking about Dave Mustaine's voice. I'm talking about just him as a person. You know, because
I'm talking musically here.
I also think it might have to do with the fact that Megadeth is bipolar with their music nowadays. I mean, they got Soar Up and then Super Collider. And then, Dystopia. We don't know what we're going to get next. We never know what we're going to get next. And the fact of the matter is, he might even think that that even their good stuff kind of sound the same. I mean, Dystopia, if you were to put Dystopia next to, like, United Abominations or...
I think Dystopia is significantly heavier.
I'm just thinking, like, they're similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Well, I mean, like, you can't expect them to branch out too much. When you branch out too much, you get Super Collider.
That was the fucking worst record ever.
Whoa.
Like, I think, dude, in all honesty, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I would listen to Saint Anger more times over and over again than I would ever listen to Super Collider. Ever.
That escalated quickly.
Yes. Yes.
Damn.
I took that to the next fucking level because I hated that fucking
Motherfucker
record.
just whipped out his dick and slapped it on the table. He's just like,
Bam!
shit.
Eat it.
I like Megadeth. I think throughout their course of their career, through the good and bad times, they have been very accessible to a wide audience, and are now kind of getting back to appealing to their root, their core.
But you said you hate that.
No, I said appealing to their root. to
Oh,
their core,
not
trying to
recreate something.
Yeah,
I get it.
I don't think they're trying to. I don't think Dave is in the mentality of I need to recreate this album. He's like, oh, I might as well just do what I can at this point. I mean, that's the whole reason he changed his voice in Dystopia. Probably is that he's getting older. He's like, well, I can't do this, so let's just kind of change things and do whatever the fuck I can do. So, I can't. I have to disagree with this one. So I liked it like Megadeth too much. So
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love me some Megadeth.
yeah.
But I can see where people would say, why are they so popular?
So a lot of these, for anybody who we've just name dropped and have talked about this, if you guys could respond with some ideas as to why you put some of these bands on there, that'd be fucking awesome, because it's a matter of a little bit more understanding for a lot of them.
Are you surprised by bands that are not on the list?
That's actually what I was going to ask you. I am actually very much surprised, even though it's not metal, that no one said Pink Floyd.
Very true. I can see that. I was going to say the same thing about Led Zeppelin.
Since they mentioned AC/DC and everything. Any of the biggest bands out there, the Aerosmiths, stuff like
Like, I was going to say even some of the bigger arena rock bands, like, why are they still selling out these huge crowds? Let's talk about Pearl Jam and Green Day, Bon Jovi, or
Styx. Styx still selling pretty well at shows.
Def Leppard and Poison still touring together every goddamn summer. Why?
Yeah, Def Leppard's definitely number one on my list of like, why are you still doing this?
Like, why are they so popular? I mean, they released one huge record. I mean, yes, some of their earlier stuff was good.
Def Leppard had more than that, but
No, they had one huge record.
they had multiple.
No. One huge record.
I'm pretty sure that Pyromania.
Pyromania was a big record. I'm talking about just take it over to the next level.
Pyromania, Hysteria, Adrenalize.
What's Adrenalize?
I think it's the album that came out after that. It still kind of kept it up.
Yeah. I'm talking about Hysteria. I'm talking about like Pour Some Sugar on Me, motherfuckers.
I fucking hate that song. God, why? Dude, I'm going to bring a little list here, and there are things you are not allowed to mention on this podcast. Pour Some Sugar on Me / Def Leppard, Sex Pistols, Nirvana, any hate towards Iron Man. The fact that Freddie Mercury died.
I was actually surprised that somebody did not say Iron Maiden.
Yeah, I mean, I would have just set them afire.
Well, of course. But the thing is, like, we talked about this, is like, this is more of a matter of opinions and stuff like that. But Iron Maiden might not appeal to everybody. I mean, there's probably, someone like a death metal fan is like, oh, fuck Iron Maiden. Who the fuck are those guys?
Yeah.
Or, some Scandinavian son of a bitch is like, who's like fucking through with metals.
Speaking of that, Amon Amarth. Them being among the bigger names right now in that kind of death / Viking metal type thing. Someone's got to have a hate for them.
I'm sure.
So.
I'm sure, especially now that they're gaining popularity.
Nightwish.
Also true.
Nightwish / Lacuna Coil / Epica. Any one of those. I would probably venture a guess more toward Lacuna Coil, because I personally don't see much of the allure in them. I like some of their stuff, just I don't know why they are as popular as they are.
Yeah. When there are better bands.
Yes, absolutely.
The thing is, that probably has, again, more to do with their crossover appeal. Because their music is far more accessible than, say, Epica, which has the death metal growls, and their music is a lot heavier. Nightwish is very just bombastic, that people just get turned off by that in general. While Lacuna Coil is definitely, they're geared towards more of the mainstream rock radio with the clean vocals, both male and female.
With Nightwish and for a lot of power metal, what may turn people off is the fact that it is very melodic in the sense that it is kind of pop friendly.
Almost, yes.
It's like there's a lot of times where I can listen to the radio. I'm listening to I'm sitting in my therapist's office this morning, and I'm listening to Jesus rock, and I'm like, I can definitely hear this kind of big bombastic chorus in a metal song. It's so
I mean, we talked about this before. Devin Townsend, when Epicloud came out, I would play it nonstop and just bother the shit out of Rachel, and she always thought it was like praise music. Because it's what it sounded like. He had a choir going on. The song "Grace" is just this huge,
especially the first song.
Yeah, the first song. Yeah. I mean, I can see where you're coming from with that, especially with the power metal thing, because that is just so huge. So
yeah, not metal, but the Doors. I have never understood the allure of the Doors.
I think that the allure of the Doors was, the poetry of Jim Morrison. Was more than anything else. I mean, the music was really good, but I think it had more to do with the charisma and the poetry and the tragic nature of Jim Morrison, which would play into what we talked about with Nirvana, him killing himself.
Yeah, but,
you know,
but
same thing.
But again, it's a matter of knowing the history, knowing the facts, but still can't make that leap into saying, okay, I get it now. I don't get it. So it's not my thing. I can't think of any more off the top of my head.
Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, there you go.
Leonard Skinner.
Never like.
I mean, I love Leonard Skinner, the greatest hits, because that's what I listen to. I mean, I love all their popular songs. I just don't get like, you know, sometimes people just so into Skinner. It's like, I don't get it. Like, great songs, awesome. Southern rock, they blend in there with like the Allman Brothers and all that stuff. But why are they just that much higher than some other bands?
Because they're catchier. Sweet Home Alabama.
I don't know.
Give me 3 steps.
Oh, I love that song.
Even like Freebird, I've kind of gotten tired of. I never thought I'd get tired of Freebird. I got tired of fucking Freebird.
I got tired of the studio version because it's too short.
Fucking
Kind of like getting tired of the studio version of Whipping Post. It's not 23 minutes long, motherfucker.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna try to think of anything in the next 2 seconds off the top of my head to throw down here, but I'm probably not.
I actually very surprised someone didn't say like a band like the Foo Fighters, because I understand why they're a huge band.
Yeah,
I love that band
because they are rock radio darlings. I can see why people wouldn't like them, but I guess it's not one that crosses everyone's mind.
I guess, man,
Maybe they're so on the fence that people don't think about it.
I guess not.
Yeah,
They're not as polarizing as some other bands, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like you said, they're just straddling the fence.
yeah. I think we're gonna call it there because we've been doing this for a good long ass fucking time right now.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Actually, I think a good portion of our podcast is all about this discussion.
Yes, at least an hour and 10 of it.
Wow.
So, shit.
You gotta get the fuck out of here so I can watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here so I can actually, like edit this and go to bed.
And also because
Warrior needs food badly.
here we go.
That's right.
It's unnecessarily powerful.
My hunger is.
Yeah. So, actually, I never got to play this clip tonight.
Damn. White boy got straight up laid out.
I'm kind of mad. I would have had a perfect spot for that. But anyway, if you guys have any opinions to express about all the stuff that we just talked about, or would like to come back at us about what we said, about your thoughts. Wow, that was really that was convoluted. Come at us, bro. Let us know on Facebook.com/The Shred Shack, either in the comments for the original post or in the comments for this this post for the podcast. Or send us an email, shredcheckmetal@gmail.com, and we will read your response next week. I will probably make fun of any punctuation and grammar because that's what I do. Thank you. I minored in English for a reason, motherfucker.
You minored in literacy?
I minored in literacy. Wait a minute.
Still the best ever.
Shut up.
Ironically, we were going to go see Megadeth that night.
Shut the fuck up. So, again, let us know your thoughts on Facebook page, facebook.com/TheShredShack. Until next time, I am Dan Mack.
And I am not Dan Mack.
You are not Dan Mack. You are Chris. What was your nickname? I fucking lost it. Oh yeah, Chris Bones Mack. And Pete
Grabowski.
will be
There we
here
go.
hopefully next week, maybe, possibly. Fuck you, Pete.
Mr. Black.
Oh, how do we end the shows now? Oh right, Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on one second. Let me find Dusty Rhodes. I added some new ones. Oh, here it is.
Whatever it is, Jack, we're number one in it.
That's right. Shred Shack, number 1. Yay.